everyone, and welcome to the Kittens of War Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Turbo Tony. This is the gaming podcast where we talk all things gaming, and regularly we cover a game every week with all the members of the Kittens community. But this week is a special episode. We are covering one of our most favourite game series of recent memory, at the very least. We're covering the Mass Effect Trilogy. This week we have the cornerstones, I like to call them, of the Kittens podcast. We have Matt Marsander, T the D Tom, and Fracknear Chris. Everyone, say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
I felt very game show saying that, by the way. Just
Let's meet the team.
Yeah, let's meet our contestants. Or is it like a little bit more like Wheel of Fortune? It's like, come on down. That's it. So yeah, this, as we said, there's a game podcast. If you've caught us before, as we said, normally we cover a game each week, and we cover games that maybe we like. I say maybe we like. Last week we did cover games that we didn't like. So there you go. Games that we've played recently, games we played in the past. But we're going to cover the Mass Effect Trilogy. I like to call this one of our special episodes, that we cover a specific game or series. So not just games, like other stuff that they might come out of, and we'll talk all the stuff about that. We also have gaming news, because that never stops. There's lots of gaming news to get through. And then we'll talk about Mass Effect in general. We're going to talk about all three games at very least, and have a very interesting conversation about that. And remember to subscribe. If you do enjoy the podcast at any time, hit that subscribe button. You'll be able to catch every episode, which is released on a Tuesday. So good stuff. Into news. The Destiny beta was released. It's now ended, but it was released, and you were able to download a fairly good size, more than a demo size of the game, and play it through and experience the game. And
I felt like I really missed out on that.
You did. Destiny was awesome. It blew me away. It really did. I was shocked. I went into it just, may as well download it and give it a try. I was shocked just how good it looks, how good it plays. I don't know much about the game. I hadn't been chasing it for that long. But to anyone that doesn't really know what it is, it's like a very updated, slick, clean cut Borderlands style game of loot and progression and missions and teaming up with other players. It's like a MMO light sort of thing. That you can play with lots of people in areas. Did anyone else play the beta at all, or did it all pass you by?
I didn't, but I've been keeping up to date with it, and I've been keeping an eye on it since it's been in production, and it does look really nice. It's like I think this is a really good example of what like next gen consoles, especially the PS4, are actually capable of. It's like, look, we can compete with PCs now.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I quite like is I've been keeping track on it as well, and it's quite odd to think that it's essentially Bungie just going, hey, we can keep up with things too. We can make more than just Halo.
Yeah, we're not a one-trick pony kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. I mean, like, I think often, like, especially towards the end of the Halo stuff that they did, the Halo trilogy that they made, and obviously made a few games after that, it seemed like they almost got stuck in their ways a bit too much, and obviously giving them the shackles free to create a whole new world, a whole new way of playing, is obviously giving these guys much more a breath of fresh air, because when you work on a franchise for over 10 years, it can get old, obviously, that you're going from there. But good stuff. I'm really excited. I like I said, this was not on any of my to-buy lists, but after playing it, it's really clean cut and really impressive looking. Really is. The very idea of I was playing with some randoms, just doing an event with this thing that just fell from the sky, and we had to defend it, and everyone was just so happy that we managed to finish it, and everyone was doing little emotes that you can do to each other. It was very odd playing that on a console. It really was, but good stuff. It seems like what the guys at Defiance tried to do, but they never had the skill in development to actually pull off. But it looks like these guys are definitely going to do something like that. So good stuff. Hearthstone. Who are Hearthstone players here? I know me and Matt. Tom, Chris, have you played Hearthstone?
I haven't actually, no. I don't even know what it's about.
It's a card game, essentially. It's a card game based around World of Warcraft. Considering me, I'm a Guild Wars enthusiast, but yeah, I do like the card game. I'm a big fan of card games. But Curse of Naxxramas was released. This is a PvE expansion to the game. The first two battles, you can actually find a no commentary video of the first two battles on this channel, funny enough, so there you are. It's been obviously dubbed for a while. PvE content in a PvP only game is obviously quite refreshing. And a lot of these bosses and stuff that you fight are hugely overpowered, but the AI is exploitable, which I guess is part of the thing about it. You've got to find holes in their battles, in their AI, and exploit that because they've got hugely overpowering powers and abilities and cards for you to go against. I'm a huge Hearthstone player. I love this game, and to be able to... Also, what I like about this as well, you guys may not know a lot about Hearthstone, but in Hearthstone there's legendary cards, and these cards are extremely powerful, to the point that if you go against someone who has a legendary card and you don't, you're going to find it very, very hard to deal with that legendary card if you don't have the experience to be able to deal with that. But now this actually gives you the chance. Every single wing that's released, you get the first one for free. You get a legendary for free. It gives you a exclusive new legendary that's in that deck. And for every new one, you can also buy it with in-game gold as well, because each wing is going to cost money, but you can actually get it with in-game gold. So if you grind enough in the game, then you can unlock enough. Now it's 700, which is pretty steep. But for someone like me who's really into that game, I don't have to pay a penny because I'm just basically saving up the money, and I'll be able to play all this content for free because it's a free-to-play game anyway. So that's good stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Guild Wars 2, talking of new releases, is also having a release the day that this airs. It's I wanted to add this in because I'm a Guild Wars player. I haven't talked much about it, but the new story content is uploaded every 2 weeks, and it's a new one gets released there. You obviously, if any fan of my videos without this podcast will know that I'm covering a lot of the new releases on that as well. It basically is amping up the story a lot. If you've left Guild Wars 2 or you're not playing it, or you thought, it was fine, the story was good, but I completed that and I didn't really get into anything, now is the best time to get involved in it, because if you manage to log on every week that a new release is out, you get that story for free and you don't have to pay a penny for it. So
that's out tomorrow, so it's like,
Yes, it is. I
just realised I have tomorrow off as well.
Oh, good stuff. Yes, I'm going to play the hell out of that, I really am. And it's just good because it comes out on my birthday, so there you are. Awesome stuff. It's nice of them to release it on my birthday, I put enough hours into that game. It's nice of them to give me a birthday present. So that's good.
Give them one back to the fans.
That's it, yeah. So anyway, Chris has some news this week. Cover your news, Chris. What have you got?
I do, yes. I came across something the other day, well, yesterday, in fact, that almost gave me a nerdgasm, which it looks like they're finally perfecting the Firefly MMO, which, as Tom pointed out before we started, has been in development for quite some years now, but it looks like...
Is it one of those things where it's been cancelled a lot and then picked back up again? Is it one of those sort of things?
I think so, yeah. I think it's been picked up by a few different studios and they've just not wanted to put the time into it, and they've had other projects going. They've just kind of let it fizzle.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's been picked up by a decent studio now. I don't know all the details because I've just found out about it, but from what I've seen, it is going to be a fully fleshed out MMO. You can fly your ship, you can hire your crew members, go and do jobs. There's a story mission involved. All the characters from the show are going to be in it. I think voiced by all the actors as well. I know for a fact Nathan Fillion's in it.
Okay.
Nathan Fillion, the Lord of all nerds.
Yes.
High Lord Nerd.
Do you know what studios picked this up? Do you know, or just offhand, or the reason I say it right is because if it's a studio that doesn't have much MMO experience before, the Elder Scrolls Online it had a lot of problems because the studio did not make a game like that before, so they suffered a lot.
Yeah, they did. I've heard quite a lot of complaints about that actually, which is disappointing because I wanted it to be really good.
I wanted it to fail, and the reason being, not because I'm a Guild Wars 2 player, before anyone says that, it's because it has a sub fee. I don't believe games should have sub fees anymore. I think Guild Wars has done away with that. I think you can have a game without sub fees.
So if Guild Wars is successful without sub fees, then why not the rest of us?
Yes.
Or them even.
But that's my opinion. I've got very strong opinions about that. But anyway, the reason I say that is it seems like it's very... it seems like they're shooting for the stars. They're trying to make the best game. I hope to hell that they do that, because a lot of these times that they will say a lot of stuff they want to do, and then they've got no way of actually implementing it within an MMO format, which is what a lot of the issues were with Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, and they've got to be careful with the fan base as well, because if they don't do justice to the fan base, they will get backlash.
No, especially for Elder Scrolls as well.
Don't fuck about with the brand codes.
No. Hopefully they'll maybe get some of the original writers on board if they're really planning on doing that. That way they can stay true to the core values of the story. Because as you say, they've got a die-hard audience.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's a difficult way to go, because it's like, do you essentially run the Firefly, or is it the fact that it's just based in the world of?
I think it's based in the world of. I've just quickly pulled up a Google search of it. From the looks of it, it is basically you assume the role of a ship captain and you create a crew. You can customize your ship. It looks there's going to be cross-platform player experiences, so that's pretty cool.
Oh wow! Okay,
There's
yeah.
a unique social feature connecting Firefly fans. You can create your own ship. So yeah, as I say, it's a official release. It looks to be later on this year in 2014, actually.
Oh,
I doubt that. They may think that, but I very much doubt that the majority of the stuff is going to be done.
if they are releasing it this year, they have kept it very, very hush hush.
Yeah, yeah.
And unfortunately, if they do, it could be rushed.
Yes, you can easily rush an MMO. You can bring out to market, and then once all the players get into it, then they're going to show you all the cracks in your game. They really do. Like even the most the most successful MMOs and the MMOs that have the most time put into it, the gamers will break that shit. They really do. Like an MMO can get broken more than any other game. So I'm really shaky. I really am. Like it can be hard to get into MMOs. I wish them all the best. But yeah, go on.
No, sorry, I'm a little bit worried because they're basing it. As I say, it's going to be set in the Firefly universe. It's going to be tricky because I just imagine literally everyone trying to be Mal Reynolds and just seeing this game just populated with nothing but Fireflies. And
well, sometimes it's best to remove that option away from people. I think that's probably the best way. So
apparently, this has been picked up by Dark Cryo.
Dark Cryo.
Doesn't come up to name anyway, but let's hope it does come out. If they do, what I would like them to do, right? Personally, if they haven't got a lot of money, which I doubt they do, to make it this MMO, because there's not exactly going to be a big publisher that's going to really give them tons of cash to do this. Not like the Star Wars MMO that was made, and even that went free to play in the end. I hope that maybe they do it with the fans in mind, and they do it at a very cheap entry point, to get into the game, and therefore they build around the community when they get in, because the Firefly fans are going to buy into it regardless. You do it, you bring them into the game's development, much like the guys at Guns of Icarus have done, which is they get a lot of player feedback, and that's why they get where they go from there, and that way they can build from there with this small, because they're not going to have like the size of community like World of Warcraft or Star Wars or Guild Wars. It's just not going to happen. At very least from the offset, anyway. I wish them all the best. Is there any other news you have as well, or?
Yes. Also announced at the latest San Diego Comic-Con where Firefly was announced. There's apparently going to be a Halo movie going to be released, like a full-on feature length, not like the Forward Unto Dawn thing that was done, which was mainly a fan-done web-based thing. Okay. This is going to be a full-on feature-length, like
live action, is it?
Type movie, yeah.
Oh wow!
And it's done by I think, but don't quote me on this because my memory's kind of sketchy. But I think Josh Whedon might have picked it up.
Good.
So Josh Whedon's doing a Halo movie and not a Firefly MMO.
Yeah, apparently. But no, From what I've heard, it looks really, really nice, and it's taking place just after Halo 4 and before the new Halo 5.
Yeah,
it's going to be kind of bridging the gap between that. So hopefully they'll release that before they release Halo 5. Otherwise, everyone's just going to get confused.
Yeah, it's nice really difficult for me to get into the mindset of that because I didn't actually play 4.
Yeah,
did I?
I played Halo ODST, and I think that's when I walked away from that franchise.
See, I've played the whole series to absolute death, so I'm a pretty big nerd on this because I'm a massive Halo fan. But in Halo 4, they kill off Cortana at the end, and Cortana has always been the human, like kind of sort of the human element of Master Chief. She's always been like kind of the morality of the whole situation.
Yeah. The voice in his head.
Program.
Yeah. And she sacrifices herself to kill off the main villain at the end of number 4. So I'm a little bit worried for the Halo franchise as a whole, not just the movie, on how they're going to continue that, because Master Chief has always been, a genetically engineered super soldier who was kidnapped in his childish years. So he's not really had any kind of mental progression that the rest of us get. He's just been bred to go and beat shit up and blow holes in fucking arbiters and monsters. and so it'll be interesting to see how he deals with things after Cortana. So maybe he'll get some kind of mental progression. He'll kind of come into his own, and he'll become his own person now.
Yeah, I think that like for a lot of things, I'm gonna get such strong hate against Halo fans. I think Master Chief isn't nearly as good as a character as he gets credit for, personally. The reason I say that is because in the first 3 games, which I've only played, maybe he does have more progression in Halo 4. I don't know. I'm not going to claim to say that, but you learn very little about the guy, and he's kept a mystery for a reason. But I just feel like maybe with Cortana gone, it opens up to explode his backstory and explode what what he really feels as a character, because they've really held on to that card for a long time. And there's only so long
actually, they kind of did that in Halo 4. They went so far into his backstory. They went, well, everything you've been asking us about Master Chief, like since we made Halo, we're now going to explain in Halo 4.
Fair
and
enough.
they did the whole backstory thing, and it was actually really well done, because they done it with some beautiful cutscenes. Just the graphics and everything. It's just, Halo 4 is such a beautiful game. I mean, even if you hate Halo games themselves, just for the sheer visual, it's really nice.
Yeah.
They do make pretty games.
Yeah. And
talking about what Tony said, Master Chief not getting enough character, and going to, I don't know much about the backlore, but as I understand it, individuals that go into the Spartan program, they were literally taken before they could be literally the second instant they were born. They have a test done, and then to determine whether or not they're capable to be Spartan soldiers, and then the parents are given this clone sprog that dies after like 12 years or something.
Well, from how I understand it from Halo 4, they're like just like prepubescent, like adolescent waifs and strays, basically, that are just picked off of the streets because no one will miss them. And then they're entered into the Spartan program to, see if they'll survive. And the strongest ones that survive get, made into full-fledged Spartans.
See, I'm disappointed by that now, because as I understood it, they literally it was a very secret operation where they take
it was very secret. Yeah, it was in like very much, very very hush hush, very much a shadow operation. But
I'm sure
it's not so much I'm here to take your baby.
Yeah,
and
the baby stealers.
Rear, there's nothing but soldiers. Like, what was that movie with Kurt Russell? Super Soldier, something like that.
Yeah, I think that might have been that.
I think it's a soldier, isn't it? I think that's the name.
Universal Soldier.
Yeah.
That's it. I was quite enamored by that concept, but now you said they're literally just orphans picked off from the street. I'm just like, not as exciting.
Yeah.
Well, they're orphans picked up the street and just turned into super soldiers, and that's where Cortana has really been in her element, because she has no physical presence. She doesn't do anything to help Master Chief except hack a few systems and open a few doors on occasion. She's there to provide moral guidance for him. So if he goes off on one, or he goes like full-on clinical killing machine, she just goes, no, Master Chief, just calm the fuck down for a second and think about this.
Yeah. His moral compass, I think, is probably the best way to describe her.
And it is so, like if you've played all the games and you're invested in the series, it is such a touching moment when she goes. Because she,
I feel like we're covering Halo 4 now.
Oh yeah, but she gives herself sort of like a physical presence, so she can at last touch Master Chief. And even though he's got like a full mask on, full armor and everything, you can't see his face. Just in like the.
And he speaks in trailer voices.
No, well, yeah, Master Chief.
Just the way he speaks, you just hear it over a trailer. You just see all it is, just trailer talk. I need a weapon.
Yeah,
that's all I hear when he talks.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't talk in that scene at all. He says like a few words, and most of those are like, Cortana,
I am the ultimate soldier.
I am Batman.
Apparently.
But yeah, just from like the actor's body language, kudos to the actual body actor that they got to do the live action for that scene, because just from Master Chief's body language, you can tell that he's upset about what's happening, but he doesn't quite know how to mentally process it.
Yeah.
And he's
which
kind
is
of
extremely
stuck.
hard to get over, by the way. So kudos to that.
Yeah.
So going back to
that fucking scene at the end where he's standing on the fucking viewport looking out at the earth, and you get that dickhead who comes and stands next to him and says something like, "Is it all worth it, Chief?" And then he kind of wanders off, and Chief just goes, "Sometimes." It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, Master Chief, you had a nice emotional moment back there. God damn it.
He's not the hero they need. He's the one that they deserve. Anyway, something along those lines. I got that wrong. Anyway, so the actual movie that you said they're making, is there any time on when it's getting released? Is there any statement of when that's actually
I
getting?
don't think there's an actual time on when it's getting released. I think it was just like a teaser, like how they've done with Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
It's like I can hear it.
Like the thing is, this has been mentioned before because there was like quite a bit of uproar. It's like, well, they better not show his fucking face, or I'm going to walk straight out of that cinema, sort of thing.
Hey, they did it to Judge Dredd. It could happen to Master Chief.
Well, they show his face at the end of Halo 4 if you complete it through on Legendary difficulty.
Oh, well, there you go. So,
Oh, well, that just ruins it.
yeah.
Well, I think the only reason Bungie made that decision was because like, right, we are done with Halo now, so you can.
Yeah.
Or so they thought.
Done with it.
Okay, let's move on to our main event of the evening, which is the Mass Effect trilogy, or I'll call it the series because we're going to talk a little bit about number 4, the upcoming installment, and there's been a lot of chatter going on around that. We're going to talk very leisurely about the 3 games in general. We'll try and stay on some sort of track, but I cannot state that we will because there's going to be a lot of all the games intertwined very closely. Let's explain what Mass Effect is to people that maybe don't know. And if you don't know, I urge you to pause this video, go play it, and then come back, because we're going to be talking about a hell of a lot of spoilers.
We give a lot of these warnings out, don't we?
What?
Play this game.
Yeah.
We always give these warnings out. Play this game. If you're listening to this and you haven't played it, play it. Stop what you're doing. Play it now.
Yeah.
Pause this game and go play Mass Effect. I don't think they have that much time.
90 hours, and then, come back.
Plus.
It'll always be here, this video, for your viewing enjoyment. So, so Mass Effect is, as best as I can explain it to be, it is it's a mix. It's basically a interactive space sci-fi story with third-person action segments, but it's much more story and choice-based than action. So there's the actual gunplay in it is not the most telling point in the game. It's centered around the future of humanity meeting other alien races and exploring the universe, meeting these races and their backgrounds, and dealing with an unknown threat known as the Reapers. And basically the entire game is on a tangent that deals with the fact that the Reapers are coming, which is those words are said multiple times throughout all of the games, it seems like.
The Reapers are coming.
Reapers are coming. Reapers are coming. And no one listens, funny enough, until the Reapers are there.
Of course not.
So, 3 games were made in the original lineup. There is a 4th one being made, but it's not as part of the original trilogy, as they're stating. And you create your own Commander Shepard, or you can play with their pre-made one. And you can make your own choices about who you choose to trust, which way you want to go about missions, how you talk to your teammates, how you deal with other people. Basically, there's a lot of choice in this game, and all your choices ripple out into other choices. That's probably the best way that I can state it. If you've played something like The Walking Dead, or BioWare's other games like Dragon Age, it's like that, but just with space gunplay and stuff like that. And obviously,
I've heard the official genre for it is space opera.
Yeah, that could be quite right.
Space opera. That's
Pretty much.
an interesting choice.
Well, it's something somewhat similar to The Fifth Element. That's been described as a space opera.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Some people point at Mass Effect as being the Star Wars of this generation, because obviously games weren't around then to tell the Star Wars story. And I, to a degree, I'll explain what I think about that at the end when we wrap everything up. But let's talk about Mass Effect 1. For people that don't know, I've actually been replaying the entire trilogy very recently. In fact, I'm playing through number 3 now. How much can you guys remember the first one? I mean, obviously I remember it very well because I played it recently, but how do you remember the first game in the series? How did it introduce you to the world? Did you think it did a good job of introducing you to everything?
Did an amazing job, sort of like this is to set the scene.
Yeah,
it had a very unique feeling, which is what drew me into it, because it was not like everything that was 2008 was the year it came out, and it was just different, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I went into it with a little bit of hesitation because I thought it's like, I don't want this to be like Fallout New Vegas in space.
Yeah,
and
it certainly isn't.
This seems big. Hopefully, it won't get too overly complicated dealing with alien races and other planets and everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was while it wasn't linear, there was also a lot of stuff to do. There was loads of exploration. There were little bits you could find. If you were bored, you could just run around listening to character dialogue in the background, which could be quite entertaining sometimes.
Yeah.
I love the dialogue.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really entertaining. I got really into it. I loved all like the Normandy, the Mako, everything like that. Everything about it drew me in. The characters were awesome. Like every single character in it was fleshed out. Even the people you don't talk to, just a random bot crew walking around the Normandy. You could just stand around listening to them chat for hours.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
One thing I will say about what Mass Effect 1 does really well is that while it's got Mass Effect as a world, as lore, has a lot. It's very deep. Each race has their own lore about the way they deal with things, about war, marriage, politics, government. I think that Mass Effect 1 did a great job of spoon feeding it to you slowly at a time, so it doesn't overwhelm you, and while still making the whole story about you and making it about your character's progression. Just before we go any further, who did you stay with the stock Shepard, or did you create your own at the very beginning?
I create my own.
Created.
What's the point of going into a story like this if you can't be the hero?
Yeah. I firmly agree with that as well. Did everyone go for male Shepard going first time, as we all guys here, or did anyone go for Fem Shep?
I went for the Femship first time around because I always find in games like this, females have a slightly easier time of it.
And of course, you've got a nicer ass to stare at when you're walking.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, everyone seems to be nicer to women in these type of games, and it's not just Mass Effect. It's like BioWare games and RPG games as a whole, where you can create your own character. Everyone seems to be nicer to female creator characters than male creator characters.
Point of interest: BioWare did a statistic for which gender most players went for. 86% of people who played Mass Effect go for male.
Really?
I went for male at the start. I'm playing Fem Shep now, and I'm really enjoying Fem Shep. She does have a lot of different dialogue going through it that is just very well made. And obviously Jennifer Hale does a brilliant job of doing the voice for the female Shepard.
It is fun being Fem Shep.
It is quite fun.
Did you guys notice who else Fem Shep voiced? Do you know who else she voices as?
No, who's in the game?
No, not in the game, but she's worked with BioWare before. She was in Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah, she was. It's the other Jedi that teaches you in it, isn't it?
Basida, something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember. Batista.
Thank you. Bethesda, that was her name.
Bethesda.
God.
So yeah, I thought Mass Effect 1 was really good. There was a lot of features in this game that I really enjoyed going back to it. Like the actual point that you can actually go to certain planets, land on them, and explore them. Which is
the little Mako bits was amazing.
Yeah,
even if it was a real pain to drive sometimes.
The funny thing about that, right? You know that you've got two guns on it. You've got the main gun, and then you've got the rocket. When I first played the game, I only realised the second time playing through you could use the rocket. I played the entire first two never using the rocket on it, and spending minutes upon minutes just whittling down the shields of these turrets on these places.
Forget the turrets. How the hell did you survive the Thresher Maws?
I don't have a clue.
I defeated one.
With just a gun?
Yep, with just the guns. You just kind of run around. Well, you kind of run around, forcing it to dive out. Just before it comes out the ground, you insanely drive backwards, firing the shit out of it while it's above the ground. Wait for it to dive down again, and just repeat and rinse until it dies.
And that's what I do with rockets. I don't have the patience to do a gun.
Yeah,
that's it. Just if in doubt,
just rocket launcher against this giant tank-eating worm, but you know what? I'm going to use my pistol. I fancy a challenge.
That's essentially what we were doing there. But yeah, ironically, that feature never comes back into the game. Exploring.
I was confused about that. I mean, I did like it was easier to search for minerals and stuff in number 2 with the whole planet scan business. But then they phased it out completely with number 3. It was just you go to a planet, launch a single probe at it, and then it finds something, and then you get that. There's no exploration anymore, which I was a bit disappointed by. I would have loved to see a version 3 Mako. That would have been epic.
Yeah,
they did tentatively bring something like that back, but it wasn't integral to the game. It was the Hammerhead tank.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was one.
I much prefer the Hammerhead to the Mako, I'll be honest.
But that's more of an arena, sort of trying to like it's almost like a jumping puzzle sort of thing in Mass Effect 2 when you use that. But yeah, that part of the game, it gets the exploration part of the universe gets, I believe, worse as the series progresses.
It does.
Yes.
I completely agree with you there.
Yeah.
It becomes more
Then to be
linear and a lot
fair,
strict.
in defense of the third game, who's got time to explore when you're saving the universe from the Reapers?
And why would you explore it when you've already done it beforehand? I do get that in terms of story.
I'm not saying that. They should have had something similar in Mass Effect 2, but number 3, I can imagine why people are just like, no, I don't have time to explore. I've got to save everyone.
Yeah, I get what you mean. So the actual exploration, like people might think, oh, I've got the whole universe to explore. Mass Effect 1 is the closest you're ever going to get to that, so I wouldn't expect the games to get better in that sense. The games do improve in some areas, of course. We'll get to that as we go along. So let's talk about some of the more... So, first of all, in Mass Effect, you can romance certain characters. So a big part of Mass Effect is that you talk to your crew. They're very integral to the story. They have their own quests, they have their own quirks, and much of them and their personalities makes up a lot of the personal attachments that you have in the game. I firmly believe that if they removed the whole being able to talk to your people, to be able to romance them, a large part of Mass Effect would be gone from the game, and a lot of people wouldn't look at it in the same way, and I firmly believe that as well. So here's the real question. Who did everyone romance in Mass Effect 1?
First time round, it was Ashley, but now I just go straight for Liara, because, Asaris are awesome.
First time, Ashley, for me.
Ashley.
Blue psychic sex, hell yeah.
Ooh, yeah. What about you, Chris?
While we're on the topic, do you remember the massive scandal that came out of Singapore saying that this game is too graphic, that you had a massive lesbian scene with it?
Yeah, I've got that as part of my notes
what,
too.
for having Femme Shep and Liara?
Yeah, that was just... How boring must your life be if you've got to complain about a 10-second clip from a video game you've never ever played or probably ever will play?
Yeah. First of all, who did you romance, Chris?
I will admit I've gone through all 3 games so much that I've romanced everyone.
No, on your first playthrough.
Oh, on my first playthrough, Liara.
Liara? Okay, cool. So you're the
Liara.
Yeah. So talking about that, right? At the end, if you complete a romance on these characters, you get in quotations, a sex scene. It's not really. Basically, it's a scene where you see a little bit of skin, and when I say that, it's less skin than what you see in a... it's less offensive material than what you see in pre-watershed scenes in television. It really is nothing. There was a lawsuit filed against BioWare by a group of idiots stating that the game was space porn and allowed you to have sex with random characters whenever you liked to. Obviously, they did not play
whenever you like.
Yeah. They stated from the offset you can have graphic sex with aliens and humans alike. Obviously, the judge played the game, realised that you can only have these sex scenes after like 30 hours of gameplay, and even then, it's not what you could really call a sex scene. You don't see anything graphic at all, and the lawsuit was thrown out of court. In fact, Jack Thompson, famed video game sue master, who's tried to sue a lot of games, even he thought it was ludicrous, so you've got to be special kind of ludicrous for that.
Christ.
So yeah, that's a little bit of controversy about the opening one. It's not. I think it's nicely done scene. It's quite nice the way they did it.
It's not pornographic. It's quite artistically done, especially Liara's ones actually, because there's like she's got the whole psychic element going on. So there's like trippy visuals and stuff.
Yeah.
So
there's little blue haze going around everyone, and they're just literally holding each other gently in a soft embrace. You could tell I played this a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just there's nothing probably I would describe as sexually mechanic there, really.
Yeah. There's no. I hate to say these words. There's no thrusting. There's no.
You don't see them full on going at it like animals, do you? You don't see them like pounding each other. It's just like
brown chicken, brown cow.
It's heavy petting at most.
Well,
like
that.
A very so I'd say even if
gentle
that
spoon.
Yeah,
gentle spoon.
Gentle spooning.
Maybe a little bit of a tumble, but nothing ever I would describe as something that would even constitute softcore pornography.
Yeah. It's not like they lay down in the bed and you see the Normandy fire rockets or something. It's just...
They should do that as DLC.
Probably just like burst the innuendo bubble.
The Major Tom. You really made the grade.
You just got like a ship entering a dock or something.
That's it.
Answer through a wormhole or something.
Yeah, I think the most skin that you ever see is like the side of one of their thighs. I think that's the most you see that's sexual, so it's really
You
stupid.
can get
that
a
they come
bare buttock, but yeah, it's not like.
That's like it, really.
Yeah.
It's just like there's nothing really there.
Yeah, I've seen worse on advertisements for Geordie Shore in the middle of the day, so there's nothing that should be.
Yeah.
Should
So
be
you
bad
probably
there.
would probably get just as much satisfaction as watching, I don't know, some artsy perfume advert or something.
Exactly, yeah. So there is that. That's quite funny, and obviously we have a 3-to-1 Ashley to Liara ratio. When I go play back in it now, it's Liara I choose. I can't even think of Ashley. She's really racist as a
I
character.
hate Ashley.
Which you can play as a racist as well in Mass Effect 1, more so than you can in any of the others. You can be very against aliens as a whole.
Oh yeah, you could be an absolute dick.
Yeah, there's a lot of lines that go against aliens, and most of them are actually why you're talking to Ashley, funny enough. But you can say it to a lot of the other ones. You can say it even to Rex and Garrus. You can say, well, I don't trust aliens, and you're just here because you need to be.
Oh, but Rex and Garrus are the two best characters.
Yeah, Garrus. He's
Garrus is
perfect.
Garrus is my bro, man. Garrus is my bro.
He's a proper bro.
Yeah.
I would have a proper bromance with him.
He's got to be in Broforce, I'd say, Garrus.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yes.
Be epic.
Yes, it. But yeah, you can be quite racially offensive towards other
Prejudice.
aliens in this. Yeah, prejudice.
Well, Tony, would you agree that they overdone Ashley's prejudice against aliens?
I think they had to, personally. I think they did,
Yeah.
but they had to because you need to realise that, like, you can come across very easy, I think, in the first game of all the races being too buddy-buddy with each other, especially as you've got all of them on your ship. I think they need to put those walls up quickly because it's not that long since the game started that humanity has actually been actively involved with these
You beat
other
me
races.
to it.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, it's only like 50 years or something like that since they
3
even...
generations, because it was Ashley's grandfather who was on Xiangxi that surrendered to the Turians, which is why her family's prejudiced towards them, because a lot of people give her family shit
Someone
because they
sits
surrender
and
to
reads the codexes.
Yes.
Contact.
No. I actually talked to Ashley and listened to her. I listen, mate. I listen when women folk talk to me.
But yeah, yeah, I think they all have rich backstories and actually does have her reasons. And there is a character arc there that by the end of Mass Effect 1, those prejudices are mostly gone.
No, they're not. They're worse in 3. Have you heard the shit she
In
comes
three,
out with 3? She is so bad. Every time you talk to her, she's got some tagline about how all aliens are bad and how we
To
shouldn't
be
be working
perfectly
with the
honest, I
aliens.
think by the time 3 rolls around, it's like, I knew I should have hated all aliens. The Reapers are coming to fuck with us.
Yeah, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, Ashley, just shut up and get on there. Just shut up, Ashley.
Oh yeah, not the humans weren't doing much about it, were they?
No.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, why are we so great? We're the ones getting our asses spanked.
Yeah.
So the only one that's really made an effort was Keith Davids, and well, Keith Davids is just the saviour of all humanity, as Saints Row 4 has proven.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he has a liquid, sexy voice.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be saying. I'm sure he can make any woman pregnant just by talking to her in a very sexual way. I'm pretty sure of that. But yeah, I think they needed a character like Ashley, and she is dislikable because of that. And she's very blatantly racist. But I mean, I think you need a character like that to kind of explain it. Caden, on the other side, I've only recently actually got in the back of this character because I've been playing a FemShep playthrough, and I decided to do a lot of the other options I didn't do. I think Caden's a much better fleshed out character than Ashley.
Oh, but originally, Caden comes across as a really whiny bitch.
In one, he does,
It does
but
when you're playing as a male chef, because I talked to him and it was just like, dude, I know next to nothing about you.
Yeah.
I don't care
Yeah.
as much.
Yeah.
I know
you-
next to nothing about you, and from this past 5-minute conversation, I don't want to know any more.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the main problem.
You got to pick. You got to pick who's gonna survive or die, Caden or Ashley. I'm just like, I got to be honest. I'm going for the tits, mate.
That's it.
It's like, sorry, Caden, but boobs, dude.
Yeah, that's it. I wish there was. I wish there.
No, it's cool. I understand. I regret nothing.
Yeah, I was about to say. I wish there's a way you could say that to Caden and be like, "Okay, I understand, but why did you choose to be like? Well, she's got a fine ass, dude. You must have seen it. You must have seen it." And then she's like,
Like,
"Yeah,
oh,
fair
okay,
enough.
fair enough.
I understand, bro. Go do what to bang her for me, bro." And it's just be like, "Okay, fair enough."
Yeah. You go tap that, sir. Tap that hard.
Radio 5.
I think that both those characters, though, Caden and Ashley, I think that only really come into their own in Mass Effect 3. I think that's one of the main issues
Yeah.
with that. So, talking of Caden and Ashley, as we've been talking to them a lot, Who did you choose to be killed? This is one of the big memorable moments in Mass Effect. Did you save Ashley or Caden?
Ashley, because I was trying to pork her.
Yeah,
Saved
Ashley.
Ashley.
Ashley here. What about you, Chris?
Ashley, because she annoyed me less.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Because every time I spoke to Caden, like I just felt that he was bitching about something. He always seemed to have some kind of bitch going on.
yeah.
And yeah, I could talk normally to Ashley, even if she did get prejudiced. Sometimes you could carry a normal conversation with her. But
Yeah.
every time you talk to Caden, it was about something. It's just like, oh fuck's sake, Caden, you annoy the shit out of me. You're gonna die.
So when Ashley was talking about her past, she was talking about how her sister was having trouble with her boyfriend, and I actually cared more about that than when Caden was getting racially abused by this Taurian who was going to stab his love interest.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, I felt more for Ashley than I did for Caden, and it's just
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
the way he talks.
I think we'll talk about how Ashley appears in Mass Effect 3 as they decided to give her a makeover anyway. But yeah, I think the majority of people would choose Ashley. Part of the reason I thought as well is because the way that the game tries to choose it is that Caden needs to stay there to look after the bomb anyway. So like part of it anyway is like, okay, well Caden needs to stay regardless. That's the way I was thinking about it anyway. I mean, I did want to save Ashley anyway because I had romanced her in Mass Effect 1, but still. So, what was... let's talk about some of the other choices that I had to make. At the very end of the game, you have to either sacrifice the Council to give your fleet time to take on Sovereign, or you can send them in to save the Council and take significant damages. What did you guys choose?
Being a paragon, I saved the council.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a Paragon the first time round as well, so I saved the council, and I'd completed like every other side quest and everything else at that point in the game anyway. It's like, I can take a few casualties, I'm alright.
Yeah.
I can't seem to play Paragon. Like, literally every time it's like, and that's it. It's time to assume my usual position. Time to be a dick.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite.
Humanity, all the way. Council can die.
Yeah.
I can't be an asshole. I just can't. I do renegade interruptions all the time, but whenever there's a choice, it's just like you could either do the right thing or you can do the most effective thing, and I'm just like, I'm gonna be nice.
I'm a nice guy. I condemn the Council to death because humanity needs to stand tall.
See,
Son of a
thank
bitch.
you.
Yeah.
I just turned around and said, humanity can be relied on. We're reliable. We are good for you. You need us.
They didn't listen to me all the way through. They deserve to die. There you go. If they listened to me, that wouldn't have happened. Yeah, exactly.
I just turn around and just say, yeah. How stupid do you feel now? We just saved your lives.
Nah, they
Who
died.
needs us? Who? Let me hear it.
And then who did you put in charge after said thing? You know,
Is that even a question?
it's Anderson or Udina.
Keith Davids, mate. Keith
Yeah,
Davids.
Keith David.
Yeah, I'd say
Udina.
I chose him as well because I just hated Udina. I wanted the option to shoot him in the face throughout the entire game.
I picked Udina, and the reason being by accident. So yeah.
Hey, you know, you've got the option just before you leave the Citadel when you're telling Keith Davids to either go through the main security or break through Udina's office. I tell him every time, go through Udina's office, because I just love looking at his face when he said, Anderson, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
I don't recall fighting. Smack.
Yeah.
Time as well because it's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
Checkmate, motherfucker.
The only way it could be made better was if he actually pimp slapped him and said, go in the corner and face the fucking wall.
No, Anderson, no.
Don't think what you've done. Okay.
So, last question I'll ask you about Mass Effect 1 in terms of your choices. Did you kill the Rachni Queen?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why? They're useful.
No, they're too problematic, and there already was a
Right.
massive war
Too
involved.
much
In them.
Problematic. They're a bit more than there, are we?
So they need to be dealt with, and I killed them. So
See, it's just, she talked to us. She was talking as a reasonable, sentient being, just saying, look, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I was a little itty-bitty egg. I don't much care for it. I'm happy to flee into the darkest corner of the universe and leave you guys alone if you let me.
and then she'll
No.
breed, and then it'll become a problem. So she had to be dealt with.
You say
Second time round, I let her live.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
But my first choice was had to get rid of her. She's too much of an issue. There you are.
So,
I kept her. because I thought she could be useful later on, so I'll keep this one.
Nah.
See, I love the fact that you're more practical and I'm more noble about it, Chris. That's what a pretentious dick I am.
It's just like, I could use you, and there's Tom just like, but no, you sound honest, just.
So, yeah, she was like, spare my life, spare my life. I really wanted the option to have, okay, I'll spare your life, but I'll now own you.
One of my questions, funny enough, is I was going to ask you guys, how do you play the game Renegade or Paragon? But just by answering those questions, I think we've just answered how we play these games.
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
I play Paragon with a little bit of Renegade.
Yes. I normally play Renegade with a little slight bit of Paragon, but I've gone for a full Renegade for my second playthrough. But a few things I was a Paragon about.
You know, in
Paragon,
2...
you got a bit of Renegade.
Well, let's put mine this way. You know, in 2...
Yeah.
If you didn't get the upgrade, your face would constantly change depending on how you played.
Yeah.
Mine looked like a fucking war zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same
Come
here.
the end of 2, because it's literally just like, oh, bad decision, punch, kick, kill, swear.
I have glory red
It reaches
eyes.
the point where you just look like you might as well start hunting for John Connor now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Your face is slowly melting away with the evil that
Yeah.
you've done.
Although I did like
Let's
that.
hear-
I got to the end of number 2. It's like, wow, badass.
Okay, I think we've covered Mass Effect 1 pretty well. Is anyone else wants to talk about it before we move on to Mass Effect 2?
Oh, there's not that many allies in it, but favourite loyalty quest.
Okay, Garrus for me.
Garrus, yeah.
I thought his one was really good because you feel like you're chasing down someone that's a genuine evil twat who's been selling organs on the market. So
And
That's
there is,
just-
yeah.
and there is
That
a
is when
moral
you're sort of,
twist
like,
at the
up in
end,
the-
isn't there?
yeah,
Yeah, and you're sort of like up in the dark, just following him the whole way.
no, that's Mass Effect 2.
That's 2, isn't it?
No, Mass Effect 1, you have to go to a planet where this organ black marketer
That's
guy has
it.
been finding,
Yeah.
and then you chase him.
Growing
down.
extra organs and spare people, and then he fled the Citadel and managed to escape, and now he's assumed the name Dr. Hart.
Yes.
Ah!
Oh, yeah.
I did see what you did there, mister. And then, of course, you just go into the end, slaying everything. He's like, no, don't hurt me. These are all just... Don't pay attention to them. Let's just not ask questions.
Yeah.
Thank you for saving me. And Garrus is there just like, let's just shoot him in the fucking face.
It's like,
It's about body
what's in
parts
that
and
next,
plots.
what's in that next room? Don't worry about what's in the next room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Tom, were you a
It's a room
paragon on
cover.
that bit, or did you shoot the guy? I imagine you shot the guy. Or were you nice to him?
Who, what?
The Dr. Hart, you said you can either shoot him or save him. You said you were a paragon all the way through. Were you a
someone just
paragon?
said, he's going to prison, and he goes, thanks a fucking bunch, and pulls out a gun, and then I shoot him in the face.
Oh, okay, there you
It's
go.
like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, morally ambiguous. I'm clean, and I shot him in the face.
Yeah. You defended yourself. That's still paragon,
I
right?
had my cake, and I ate it too.
There you go, yeah. Mass Effect 2, let's move on to this. So obviously it's the second game. For me, the strongest overall game that they made.
Really is.
I think that the story in this game was much tighter. I think that it's almost like they had a focus, and they did very well to amp up the stakes without the Reapers being too actively involved. Because by this point you know they're coming, but it's all about them. You're dealing with the Collectors, which is still obviously Reaper forces, but you never actually deal that much with a Reaper itself. In fact,
No.
you deal
You
with
did have a brief instance with Sovereign, didn't you?
yeah, very very brief. Now
One conversation, and then everyone else kicked his ass.
that's it. It introduced some really good characters, both evil and good, and technically you are working for a very shady company. At the start of the game, you are killed, and you are brought back to life.
That really shook me when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, have I got to make a new shepherd?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very powerful opening.
For me, it was just like, what? My ship? No, my ship. Fuck my character. My
Yeah,
ship.
my Normandy!
Normandy, I could die, but this can't come back.
Yeah.
And then it did, Tony.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Chris, sorry.
You work for Cerberus, which is a shady company that you have battled somewhat in Mass Effect 1 if you've done a lot of the
Terrorist
optional quests.
organization it was described as.
Yeah,
Very
but they were
pro-human,
always
so
very
it's like-
much a sideline, though, weren't they? In that game, they were just like
They
you
were,
know, they
yeah.
seemed like just just bog standard underground terrorist thing that just was in the game to have like a human protagonist to fight against.
Yeah, doing a lot of illegal research, and I think you could do the majority of the story missions in Mass Effect 1 and never have to deal with Cerberus, but a lot of the side quests have to do with them.
Yeah,
so-
and then in number 2, it's like, oh, they are actually quite a big thing.
Yeah,
Like,
a
shit,
huge.
fuck.
They become
It actually confused me at first a bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Cerberus obviously become hugely prevalent from Mass Effect 2 onwards, hugely so. One of the major factions of the world, and obviously you're working for them here. And
With
you're
the
working
elusive man.
for the elusive man, who is a huge part of the story. Really is.
Really
Who else
is.
found his voice really funny?
His voice.
Yeah, I thought his voice
That was Uncle
like...
Ben.
Yeah, but his
Martin
voice is
Sheen,
good,
isn't it?
but
Yeah.
I think it's just like kind of, it's almost like for me it comes very close to like cartoony bad guy.
Oh, you,
I'll grant you that one. Yeah.
yeah.
Sort of stereotypical bad man, yeah.
Yeah, it's very fun, but for me, just some of the things he says sometimes you'd like you
It's-
just imagine him as like something out of the Looney Tunes or something.
We'll just see him in the Legion of Doom talking with Dr. Claw.
Yeah.
No, Dr.
Go Victor
Claw.
Von Doom, this is how you do it.
You should have had a cat. I always object to that. Just have a cat.
Mr. Bosch. I'll be able to kiss.
Hello, Mr.
It's like
Shepherd.
smoking a cigarette and stroking this big Persian cat. So, Shepherd.
I am the elusive man, and this is my pet, Cuddles. Very menacing. Which obviously gets augmented at the end of the game, and then has to fight you. So yeah, obviously, Cuddles, big end game boss. No, he's not obviously. Anyway,
Well, they're into genetic
shame it shouldn't
experimentation,
be.
so wouldn't it go woof?
yeah, exactly.
Like in the third one.
Yeah.
Half Reaper, half doggy, half cat, and half elusive man, just with the he's being able to smoke cigarettes.
Half cat.
So what, he's half dog,
dog,
half cat, half reaper.
badass.
Yes, why not?
Might as
Scary.
well turn him into Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig, yes. I'm super serial, guys, when he's talking about Mass Effect 2. So,
That's the point. If it was so cartoony, you would almost expect Man Bear Pig to just break through the walls and just slap Commander Shepard.
yeah. And maybe become one of his teammates. Why not? Man Bear Pig. Anyway, moving on, moving swiftly away from Man Bear Pig. Mass Effect 2, as I said, I think it's got the tightest story. It actually boasts the biggest roster of teammates and squad mates than any of the other two games, easily.
It also really changed the feel of it, didn't it? I mean,
Well, the
I would
combat
describe
was
the
a lot
first game
smoother.
as quite clean, wouldn't you? I mean, very, very smooth, very clinical. But this one, it suddenly got really dark and really gritty, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah, very,
So
very
it
much.
played a hell of a lot better.
Oh
It
yeah.
did. It
yeah.
really did.
The
combat was really good.
The combat overhaul from 1 to 2 is huge. That even though there's a big upgrade from 2 to 3, isn't nearly as much as they did for 1 to 2. So
Yeah.
it felt much more actiony, much more in your face, and a lot of people rag on the combat in Mass Effect 1. I do agree, but playing through it recently, I kind of liked it. I really
Yeah,
did.
it's not that bad.
No, it's just different. It's more based upon, like, you really can't take cover in that game. The cover system is bad. I would agree with that, but if you know how to use your powers very well and you rely on that, whereas in Mass Effect 2 and 3, it's a lot more reliant on your guns. And your actual gunplay and movement and stuff like that, whereas Mass Effect 1 was more... Well, can I say tactical? Yeah, I'd say Mass Effect 1 was more tactical.
Yeah.
So, Mass Effect 2 has got a different story where basically human colonies are starting to become... basically just getting taken away. Just
Under attack,
disappearing.
yeah.
That's the word you might say.
Yes, and this force known as Collectors are attacking them. You can technically go to the end of the game very quickly without doing any of the missions that involve your teammates. And basically, the entire game is all focused around building the right team, the strongest team with the strongest upgrades that you possibly can, ready for this seemingly suicide mission through the Omega 4 relay. And you, like I said, you can go straight to the end of the game very, very earlier than you think. And but
a
the
lot
problem
earlier
is,
than you should.
a lot earlier than you should. The problem is the majority of your crew will most likely die. And the more time that you take doing these side quests, which are very, very well done, and are the main reason why you will have more chance of surviving said thing. They do amp it up as an unbelievable task, and slowly but surely you get the crew together to do it. But yeah, huge roster of guys here, and they're all equally as good as written out as some of the others. Some of them obviously a bit weaker than the others, but overall, they're none of them. I don't feel like because they had a larger roster of teammates that they weren't fleshed out. I thought they were fleshed out better here than they were in Mass Effect 1.
Yeah.
Which I
Yes,
thought,
indeed.
which obviously had less people in Mass Effect 1, so they really hit that part out of the park.
I think they added a lot more because you had quite a few missions before you got into their full loyalty, rather than just like we'll do this one mission and I trust you. And now it's like, you have to sort of like, we did this and now we've got to do this. And now, once we've done that, then maybe.
Yeah, the missions involved in them are quite lengthy, and I firmly believe that if anyone actually got into the game and didn't do any of the loyalty missions, then they're missing a huge, like a third of the game. Just gone.
Oh, Jack had an awesome one.
Yeah, she really did.
What with the whole cut? Jack's one was epic. I love Jack's one. That was like almost like had a slight horror aspect to it.
Yeah.
Psychobiotic, yeah.
That's awesome.
With these kids being experimented on, and they were killing other kids to make her better, weren't they? And that's basically
But she had it twisted around because she thought she was the only one being punished in that whole facility when really it was all working around her. She was
the reason
for the whole thing, and she thought she was nothing.
That if she technically, I think it's hard for her character to find out that she's actually the reason why a lot of these kids were actually experimented on. That she was the final end game of it, and I like that. Her story arc is pretty good. I think that the way that her story ends in Mass Effect 3 is really good as well. But one of the more feel good bits as well. But she's one of those characters. We were talking just before we started recording. She's one of those characters that she's actually quite hard to get on with. She's actually written to be very against you, very least at the start of the campaign, and then maybe
it's made out that way because apparently it was Cerberus that actually ran the facility that she was created in.
Yes,
to use the term.
She's very confrontational throughout the entire thing, unless you actually spend a lot of time talking to her and choosing just the right fucking sentence.
Oh yeah, get it wrong, and she you get all the responses just like, don't get any ideas because I could literally tear you into a million bits right now.
Yeah.
When they were writing her, I read this somewhere. They wanted her to be the new perspective for the whole, literally the outsider, and she would respond to that by being closed off and just not talk to you and just be very confrontational.
Yeah.
So they really did their work on this.
But once you broke through her defenses, man, there was a lot of stuff that you could talk to her about, and it was a very interesting story.
Her backstories are fucking epic when you actually get to open up about them. Like the little backstory she has about where she's been since she escaped the facility are actually really cool. She was like a space pirate at one point.
Yeah,
she was a vandal as well by tearing up that fucking moon.
Yeah,
exactly. It's just like, dude, you're pretty epic.
Yeah. One of the things I like about Mass Effect 2 in general is that in terms of romances, there's a huge array of people that you can romance in Mass Effect 2, where there's only two. When because there's only two per. The aura is for each gender, and you've got just one guy and one girl that you can romance in Mass Effect 1. There is loads of people you can romance in number 2. There's a huge choice, because of the amount of people that you have on your team. I think they really made that well, and it's like they managed to differentiate all these different characters and give them all different traits and stuff. When there's so many of them, there really is a huge roster.
There really is, and each one is very unique.
Yeah,
you got to play it differently. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about some memorable moments in regards to what you did in this game. This game doesn't have as many big decisions in the middle of the campaign as maybe Mass Effect 1 does. A lot of it is to build up towards...
we forgot one from Mass Effect 1, quite a big one.
Go on.
Did you shoot Rex in the face?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about
How can we
that.
forget that?
Wow.
No, I kept him alive because I loved Rex.
I kept him alive.
Well, I was actually I had a lot of Paragon points at that point, so I managed to talk him round to our way of thinking, so he didn't go off on one.
I slaughtered him.
You fucking dick! You killed Rex.
He was subverting my authority. He had to be ended. Okay.
Rex
I was playing probably the biggest Paragon. I was like, no, you ain't fucking this up for me, and I managed to talk him to essentially shout him down.
Yeah.
I did not have the option. I had to end him.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
I can actually see you doing that, Matt.
Yeah.
Shouting down Rex.
Can't believe you shot Rex, man. How the fuck did you get through number 3 then?
Number 3, it replaces him with another character, and funny enough,
Exactly.
His younger brother or something.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like it's awkward the way they do it, but there is actually big changes in comparison.
I just called him
But
not
he
Rex.
was the final Erdnot.
Yeah, man.
Everyone else is... It's just not Rex.
I think I know who that character is because if you carry Rex through to number 3, he has a bit of a confrontation with one of the rival clan chieftains, and I think it might be him that take.
I think you're quite right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I know who it is as well because I started trying to play 2. I decided because I found the controls of the combat difficult in the first, I was like, I'll skip it.
Yeah.
But what number 2 does, it doesn't give you the opportunity to make decisions. It's like, here's what you got.
Yeah, it gives you
like-
a base set of it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Basically,
in which Rex is dead. And I was like, no!
Oh.
Like, I went all the way to, was it Katunka? Or something like
Tuchanka.
that? Tuchanka, yeah. And I was literally just like, you're not Rex. Shit.
What are you doing here? So,
How
like,
dare you sit there? That's where he sits.
one of the big changes with the Rex thing, right, is that moving on to Mass Effect 3 for a little second. If you choose to betray the Krogan, which I did, I'll get into the reason being.
Asshole.
I'll explain my reasons, right? If you've got Rex, he'll realise what you've done and he'll call you out on it and then refuse the Krogan's aid. If you've got this other guy, because you killed Rex, he won't see the betrayal. It'll go under his nose and he'll still back you even though you've screwed them over, essentially.
Okay,
So
fair
that's
enough.
the big
That just
change.
makes it more of an idiot.
Yeah.
It does. So, yeah, go back to number 2.
Can I just point out, you've effectively killed the messiah of the Krogan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you happy with yourself, Tony?
no one subverts my authority on my ship.
Well, actually, so as it currently stands, you've killed 2 entire species.
Yes. No one
Yes.
fucks
You're
with
Space
me,
Hitler.
okay? If
You're
anyone
Space
tries...
Hitler.
Space Hitler.
2
Totally Hitler.
species, the entire council, because they weren't human.
No, because they didn't listen to me, okay? That's why they
Right,
died.
Hitler.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
It's
You
fine,
actually should
Hitler.
get together
Carry
and
on.
talk about your racial beliefs. You probably have a lot in common.
Yeah. I have reasons for my actions, okay? Let's just have that, okay? Well,
So did he.
Yeah.
The Nazis had reasons.
Okay. So moving swiftly away from space Nazism, let's talk about Mass Effect 2. They don't have as many choices. I think that actively involve a huge part of the story, in the middle of the campaign anyway. But did you, at the very end of the story, how many of your crew survived the final mission?
My first playthrough.
This angers the shit out of me. I've been trying to get the achievement for having everyone live for fucking ages, but Legion keeps dying.
It's because you're putting him at the thing at the very beginning when you should put Tali in there. He died for me. Tali, Legion was the only
What, in
person
the
to die.
tube?
Wait. If you put Legion in the tube, he survives.
Oh, I think there's the reason being, right, that is a bit awkward for Legion. I think you can put him in there, but because if you play the game a certain way, you get Legion right at the end, and there's not enough time to do his actual his mission to get his full trust, and that's
See,
what
I do
kills him.
everything
Yeah, but I
first.
did that. I got his full trust. I went onto a walkthrough which says this will work. You're supposed to take him with you during the final confrontation, so that he's not back with the rest of them. Where like if you don't,
They're
have
holding
one
the
of
line
them.
for you, yeah.
Yeah,
So you've got to take him with you so you can babysit him.
yeah,
See,
pretty
I
much.
didn't have that. I didn't need to do that. So and he survived. So
Yeah, I left Legion behind, and he survived.
Right,
So
I
My
had to
Legion
send the item
died.
from someone else with me.
My Legion died on my first playthrough because I put him in the tube at the beginning. But when I actually got that achievement you're talking about, Legion stayed behind, and I didn't give him any specific actions. I didn't tell him to do anything really. He was just the extra guy. So yeah, right. So my Legion died. What about the other guys? Did anyone else have more than one character die?
I
No,
also
the
lost.
Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I also lost. What's her name? The blue.
The Ara?
Samara.
Not
Samara.
the Ara.
Samara.
Samara, yeah.
No. Is this, yes, Samara.
Yeah, the Justicar. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I lost her.
What about you? What about
I
you,
think
Tom?
that was it.
Who did you lose, Tom?
I lost my first playthrough. Miranda, because I started with Jack, because I thought Miranda was a bitch.
Yeah.
And I lost Gruns, because I got him to lead the second team, even though he's got no experience leading, and he got himself shot up. The absolute...
Oh no! I just remembered one other person I lost.
Go on.
Thane.
Oh no!
Not Thane.
Because you told me about some awesome cutscene in Mass Effect 3. It's like, and I'm never gonna see it.
I romanced him on my second playthrough just for that scene in Mass Effect 3. So
Nice.
nice. What about so Chris? Who did you lose again? I forgot. I don't.
like-
You kept losing Legion. You said.
Yeah, literally just Legion. Everyone else lived.
Oh, okay. So you're the same as me.
Yeah.
It's wonderful with the Suicide mission, because if everyone does die, Shepard dies, and
Yeah.
effectively there's no Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, you play Mass Effect 3. Even if you port your save, that you play as a fresh Shepard, don't you? You don't.
Yeah, and
so-
everyone else is dead.
Yeah.
So
That's
what's
it.
the point?
So who handed over the collector ship to Cerberus?
I destroyed it.
Yeah, I destroyed
it.
Destroyed it.
Destroyed
Because
it.
I didn't trust the elusive man with that shit.
Yeah, I didn't trust him either. He would just blow the hell out of the thing, get out of there.
You're
I think
gonna
that's
trust
the
a man
easy.
you haven't even met in person.
Yeah.
And he talks through holophone and space Skype or something.
I'm sorry, but we can't be in the same place. It's
But
like, why not?
give me this very dodgy piece of equipment. You know, you can trust me. You've never seen me.
Yeah.
Blow.
Advancement for Cerberus is the advancements of all humans. Yeah, but what about my Asari girlfriend? Yeah.
Because reasons. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm signing with the space booty.
Yeah, that's it. Space Boutte.
We managed to get all the upgrades for the ship.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, I got all the upgrades for the ship. I just made the wrong choice of having Legion die.
Yeah.
But so, who did everyone romance in Mass Effect 2?
In my first playthrough as male shepherd, it was Tali. Oh, God bless Tali. And as a female shepherd, it was Thane.
Okay.
Thane's just damn.
But Tali was your first playthrough.
Yeah.
Tali was my first playthrough.
Okay.
Because Ashley was just being a bitch.
Okay. Matt, who did you romance?
Amanda and Jack.
Amanda?
And Jack.
Who's
Not
Amanda?
Amanda. What's her name?
Miranda.
Miranda.
Yeah, I slept with Jack, but then I eventually... then I romanced Miranda, then broke it off with her, then I ended up with Tali. I was all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah.
You space whore.
Space sword. You get tired out from being a space Nazi that you have to sleep with a lot of women, so there you go. What about you, Chris?
I actually managed to get 2 in my first playthrough.
Okay.
I got who was it? The first one was that steward,
Kelly.
isn't it?
Kelly Chambers,
Kelly. Yeah, Kelly. I got her first, and then who else was it? There was someone. I think I got one of the gay ones. Thane. That's it.
He's not gay.
Well, you can't have a gay relationship
You
with
can't have a
Thane.
gay relationship.
You can.
No, you can't.
No, you can't, because otherwise I'd have a gay relationship with Thane.
I'm pretty sure you can.
No,
Thane's
I'm
the guy
pretty sure you
can have a
can't.
gay relationship with.
No, the one you can have a gay relationship with is your pilot.
In Mass Effect 3, you can.
Yeah,
That's what it was in 2.
Mass Effect 3 was the only one where you could have a gay relationship.
Yeah, that's the first one they...
Unless, of course, you're a woman.
Yes, in which case, yeah, you could have a gay relationship, but...
I was the first time around. What the fuck am I saying? I was a man the second time around. No, I was a woman the first time around. So
yeah. Okay, so yeah, obviously you remember...
Alright, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, fair
entrance, and it's like, yeah, him.
enough. Fair enough. So, yeah.
Just had this image of just Chris standing there, just stars in his eyes, just...
Thane commits like some beautiful murder. It's like wet.
like that was like a Batman-esque entrance, though.
It was. He was
But
badass.
that man doing ballet. That's how awesome and beautiful it was.
Oh, they could have had
stunk as Chris's panties just dropped.
the femme ship just fell into a puddle of effluence of just how awesome he is. Yeah.
This is like, hi, your euphoria.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's a cool character, and he gets
To speak to me.
Thane in Mass Effect 3 had the only moment in a lot of games where I legitimately got out of my chair and fist pumped for Thane. We'll get into that, obviously.
Shut up.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. Matt doesn't know what we're talking about because his Thane died. There you go.
This is your penance, Matt.
Yeah.
for
I have
killing
seen
your
it
Thane.
since. I have seen it.
Oh,
It's badass.
I had to go as like just your YouTube. I was like, I have to see this for myself.
It is badass. So with Mass Effect 2, as I said, I think it is the tightest story. I think it did really well, like as I said, to make it seem like the stakes are really high without the Reapers actually being involved too heavily. I think that was really good writing.
One thing I really did like about Mass Effect 2 was it brought in the interruptions.
Yeah, the
Which was-
interruptions.
Which is suddenly just like halfway through a sentence, just like no, whack.
Yeah.
Spartan kicks someone out the window. Because it was just so badass as well. Literally, Spartan kicked this guy. He's saying, I've got nothing to say to you. You boot him out the window. You hear him scream all the way down. You just lean out and say, how about goodbye?
It's like that proper CSI Miami, just like break out the sunglasses. Cool off.
Yeah, dude.
Well, you need CSI to figure out what happened to that guy once his remains, get found on the floor.
Yeah, because I mean, there was
of
one.
Omega.
It was doing grunts missions, and there was like this big Krogan just like, we're not letting you through, and you can interrupt by shooting with the big gas canister behind his head.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Because he talked on forever, and you talk too much. Oh, you see that? Your human can't even hit a simple target. And then there's like helium or hydrogen just going out. You spark up, and then he's on fire, screaming.
Yeah.
That's it.
So yeah.
What
Good.
about? No, that was Morden's mission. What about the one with Gruns when the leader of the opposite clan is saying, "No, Grunt cannot be a Krogan. He's not a proper Krogan." You interrupt by nutting him in the face.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Krogan who you've got to appeal to is just like, "You, I like you."
Yeah. Yeah, these shaman.
The way it was, like you, I like you. It's similar to just reminds you of Team America. Like, you have balls.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. That's a cool moment. Let's talk about some of the quests. I thought one of the best quests in the game was Tali's her trial. I love the way.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
That was a good one.
If you do all renegade on that, man, you can go to town on the judges. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's
I think you're all fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Just do Paragon, and you're just literally singing Tully's praises, just like, this woman saved you, everyone,
Exactly.
ever, and you're
doing
putting
the very similar thing with going renegade on it. It's just there's a couple of swears thrown in it.
Yeah, you're all
It's just
bunch
like,
of
I think
fucking
you're all
morons.
stupid to not recognise what she's done for you guys. And it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
get hostile.
They all get a little bit defensive. They're like, "Oh, sure, all right."
I'm an admiral of a fleet, goddammit. I don't give a fuck. I'm Shepard.
I'm a goddamn shepherd.
Yeah, they should just, before the start of that trial, they should just probably have the Law and Order just track on, Law and Order.
Did you know you could actually bring Legion onto the Quarian ship as well?
Yeah, that's really interesting if you do that.
Literally
It
go
does
in,
get a
see
bit
Legion
tense.
step out, guns in his face, and the captain's just screaming at you to take the ship off, and Shepard's, if you do a renegade interruption, just says, "I tell you what, he stays on the ship or I do something. What will you do?" "I take off my mask and I breathe." And everyone's just like, we're dealing with a certified badass here.
That's it. I bring across a contagion. Oh.
Yeah. I will sneeze.
Oh God, what a madman!
I hold this cat a fart in a jar.
What about other side quests before we move on to Mass Effect 3 that you can remember? Any ones
Garrisons.
Yes, his one was very cool.
Defending against the 3 mercenary groups in the tower.
Yeah,
That's where you recruit him into your group. Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah,
that
him
was
as
badass.
Archangel. Yeah, I love that.
The one I really like, I don't like the character himself. I find Jacob a bit annoying. Like I think he's the weakest of the characters.
Oh, by
I'm
far.
kind to
And his
agree.
loyalty mission
like him,
is really
but-
weak.
I liked his loyalty
loyalty
mission.
mission just because it was really fucking ridiculous. It's like an island cast away in space.
Yeah,
I fucking loved
Space
it.
Castaway.
It makes them all mad.
yeah,
It was essentially Space Lord of the Flies, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
I wasn't a big fan of it.
Jacob was kind of cool. Just literally pull out his gun on his own dads and just like, I don't think he's worth the fuel. I don't even think he's worth the air he's breathing. And he's damn lucky. I don't think he's worth the effort to pull the damn trigger.
Nah, I thought Jacob was way too cookie cutter. He's pandering to you for a lot of the game, I feel.
Yeah, he's a bit too. He's
It's
not.
like,
the
oh my God,
strongest.
Shepard, I've heard you're a legend. Oh my God, Shepard, I have such a hard-on for your history.
Oh, you
Go,
dirty
man.
bitch, work the shaft. What? Oh, I'm sorry, I like to talk dirty when someone's sucking my dick.
Yeah. Oh man, even if you romance him, man, he just dumps you at Mass Effect 3. So there's that.
I did hate that. I was literally, Jacob, we're all buddies, come with me on a space adventure. And it's just like, no man, I got a family. I got a wife.
Well, they're all gonna die if you don't
fuck
come
you,
with me. No, I'm gonna stay here. I need to stay here. Well, you're gonna die if you don't. Well, I'm gonna stay here.
I'm just going to puss out like a little bitch.
Yeah.
See, now the one thing I've just remembered is like, 'cause we were talking like 2 was the best, like for content and that. Well, I noticed one thing that sort of just, because now you're mentioning about 3, it's just dawned on me again. Something that changed between the 3 games is the amount of the Citadel that you could visit.
Yeah.
Like number
Yeah.
1, you could get lost in the Citadel.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
And like number 2 is like you get 2 floors. And then in
Yeah.
the 3, it's
3.
like, no, just wherever you need to go.
Yeah. 3 is like, it's just it's basically 5 rooms that you get, and you have to keep going in between them. I love the way they did it in Mass Effect 1, because as you say, the place is fucking massive. It really is.
You're just sitting there walking around and you're just like, dude, I need a map.
Yeah. I wish they went back to
Am I
that.
going?
I think the good thing about number 2, and they can get away with number 2, is that they had multiple places you can go. Like the Citadel wasn't the only hub you could go to. You can go to Ilium,
Yeah.
you go to Omega. I think Omega was really cool.
Omega, what was that?
Ilium.
Sorry,
Omega was
place?
cool.
Ilium
Yeah,
and Tuchanka.
Oh, and Tuchanka as well, yeah. So you had 4 places you could go to. So obviously that had another reason why I think Mass Effect 2 was the best of the 3. But in Mass Effect 3, you can't go to those areas. Well,
Can't
you
go
can't,
anywhere.
not in the same capacity. So
No, it had some really good DLC though, didn't it? Because the first one, I only had like 2 pieces of DLC, and they were not much. You could miss those and not miss much on the story. But the DLC for number 2, that was intense. Overlooked.
They had like a DLC that really strongly linked the second game to the third one, Arrival.
Yeah.
That is really like if you don't play that, I believe that you're firmly missing out on a big part. Excuse me, of Mass Effect 3's beginning.
Okay, I'll have to get that.
Yeah, it's good
it.
stuff.
For the love
It's
of
good
God,
I'm thinking to myself, I might get it on Steam this time.
You can't get 3 on Steam.
Yeah, well, you can get it on
What?
Origin. You can still get it on PC, so you can get it on Origin, and they have pretty good deals on Origin, on for the Mass Effect series anyway. So let's move on to Mass Effect 3 as we are talking about it. The final entry of the series.
Hang on, before we move on, who liked the updated Normandy SR2?
Yeah,
That's my favourite one.
that was
Edie.
sweet.
Favorite Normandy.
Edie.
It was nice. I spent ages exploring that stuff. It's like, shit, man, I've got a bar, I've got a lounge, I've got little entertainment systems, I've got
It's
a
like
proper
it's
chef.
not like a standard ship where you got to worry about life support and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my crib. I got a big flat screen TV. Here's my Omni tool.
Look at
Or
that
like-
big fucking fish tank in my captain's room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
love
doesn't
that
Kelly or someone say, it's like, oh, you might be out saving the galaxy, but that doesn't mean you can't be comfortable while you're doing it.
Yeah. Actually, there was
Hell
one,
yeah.
before we skip on to 3, like obviously you had either Ashley or Caden, and then obviously you had Tali and Garrus. Rex never joins you if he sticks with you, but who was your favourite additional character for 2?
A new one that got added to
Yeah.
them.
Grunt. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I
Thane.
like Grunt.
Thane
He's
for me.
cool.
Thane, I have to go with. I really did like Thane.
God, I can't decide.
See, I like Thane, but I'm going with Grunt because I like his story a bit more. I find his story a bit more interesting because of obviously his origin and where he's coming from.
Having to prove himself.
Yeah. Having these very strange urges that a Krogan has, and then not being able to explain them, whereas, it's quite interesting.
Breaking glass just like nothing is.
Yeah.
See, for me, it's either Thane or Kasumi. I can't decide between those two. Because they're both certified badasses in their own way, but
Which one was
Kasumi...
Kasumi?
Kasumi's a DLC character.
Yeah,
I
what's the
thought
point
that Zaid, which is another DLC character you can get, I thought he was a bit garbage.
I got Zaid. He was a bit weird.
Zaid, I thought Zaid was cool. I wanted to slap him when he did his mission.
I thought he was garbage. I really didn't like him. But no.
What about Morden?
Morden!
Oh,
Yeah,
Morden!
of course Morden.
How could we forget Morden?
See, Morden to me just seems like part of the furniture.
Solarian.
Oh, who else laughed their absolute arse off when he started singing that?
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of it personally.
I played it 3 times in a row just because as soon as it happened, it's just like, this just happened. I think it did, and let's happen again.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I was expecting him to start singing as soon as he mentioned the fact that he does sing. I was like, oh, he's probably going to sing some kind of Solarian homeworld thing. But no. I was expecting when Mordrin was saying about that, like, I was expecting some half-assed, like, Solarian opera type thing. But instead, what we got was possibly one of the most genius things I have ever encountered in a game.
Yeah.
Not only was it Gilbert and Sullivan, not only was it a song from HMS Pinafore, but it was customized to the Mass Effect universe and to his character specifically.
Yeah.
And it was just an absolute stroke of genius. I laughed my ass off throughout the entire thing. It was fucking brilliant. I was like, oh, Mordrin, you're just awesome. You're completely useless in combat, and I'm never going to take you out in my squad, but you're still...
Hey, he was pretty
He's
good.
awesome in combat.
He's good.
You just
He's got
good.
some good tech ones.
Yeah, he's bad with guns, but if you give him a good incinerate, Jesus, man, he's deadly if you give him a good incinerate. But I think the cool thing about that song though is that like it really humanizes him in a way, like you really get close to Morden. He's the funniest out of the new group anyway.
He is.
By far, he's the
And
funniest.
also because he's just so weird.
Yeah.
He's just so random and...
It just breaks off into sort of like... I sort of to compare him almost like...
He's the
Sort of like
twitchy-
the more recent Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr., where it sort of like breaks off into all these little bits. Like the first bit, it's just like, and then if I do this, and then I go for that, and then that happens, and then this and that, and that's how it will work. Yeah. I'm a genius! Sort of thing. That's Morden.
I love the bits where he talks to you about having relations with other alien races if you romance them in time. He's like, you're trying to ask him for information. It's so funny.
Details, doesn't it? It's like, Jesus, Morden, calm down.
He's like Sherlock Holmes. He's almost like got Asperger's or something like that. Just he's got a mind for this sort of thing, but he doesn't really Well, I can't actually think of a flaw with him because he's hilarious, he's witty, and he's a genius
just
to
great.
boot. And he's just the best all round character. The only thing I could say about his character is he's
Well, the
probably
first
not of this
character
world
he
because he's like
reminded me of-
35 years old.
The first character he reminded me of was actually Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
Yes.
Oh,
That's such a cool comparison. I never even thought of that, but
Yeah, because I think he was actually modelled on him because with the suit and the way his head is shaped and everything, he kind of looks like Doc Brown. If Doc Brown was an alien, he'd be a Solarian and he'd be Mordred.
yeah, I'm quite true.
I just wish I could have heard Morden say "Great Scott" at least once now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your children, Shepherd. It's your children. What? Awesome.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
We've got to hit 8 miles an hour. What?
All right.
His loyalty mission. How awesome was he in that? Because it's just because you're trying to get his companion who worked with him in the STG, and he just sees him and he's just like, holy hell, you're doing this willingly. Why?
Yeah. When Mordred shot him, I was like, fuck, Jesus, that took me completely off guard.
That's what I like about him.
Like someone who appears to be such a non-combatant and is literally just like, this is unacceptable.
Bang. Yeah.
Choice.
And it was so cold and so sudden. It was just like bang through the glass. I was like, whoa, Mordred.
You get a lot of time where you realise that he is far more cold and decisive than he makes
cold
out
and
to be.
decisive, but he's also got heart. Because when you were talking about the Krogan, and he's just like, I hated doing this. I didn't want to do it, but there was no other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Test results indicated that this was the best way. There was no other way.
Yeah, that's it. Go. Let's move on to Mass Effect 3.
Yes.
The final entry of the series, and definitely, without question, the most controversial entry of the series.
Oh, God.
Many more features were stripped out of the game to make it a very much more story-heavy experience. The combat was improved. I feel personally, now this is down to personal thing, I feel like the story itself lent way too much on the previous installments without giving us anything kind of new. It just focused on wrapping up loose ends, some of which it didn't actually do that well, in my opinion. But
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah. Now, the ending is obviously a very controversial topic. We'll get to that.
That's its own thing in itself.
Let's get this out of the way because it's an extra thing that was added onto the game, and I want to talk about it just quickly before we get into the actual main bulk of Mass Effect 3. But multiplayer made its first appearance in Mass Effect 3.
Oh, yeah.
They did actually plan to have multiplayer in all three of them, so...
But this was the first one where it was actually implemented, and they actually released this, the demo actually allowed you to play the multiplayer segment of it. The multiplayer essentially is not multiplayer as you would think. It's like versus. Basically, it's like a horde mode.
So it's an objective-based wave defense.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
They when it first came out, I think it was very bare bones. It was still interesting, a good distraction. I recently got back into it. You'd be surprised just how much they've added into this game. They've added in new maps, a new enemy that you can fight, lots and lots and lots of new classes.
Enemy is in like a new enemy's complete
new class system.
Enemy,
I think you can fight the collectors again.
You can fight the collectors, and they're completely different in terms of what you fought before. They've got different ways of attacking you. In fact, you know the like the very insecty big thing that is talking to you throughout all the way of Mass Effect 2 that eventually gets like killed off by by Harbinger. Yeah. You have to fight them, and they're massive, and they've got loads of shields and armor, and basically they just come at you, and they're massive. I mean, they're huge. It's Atlas-sized that they come towards you, so it can be very, very menacing. But there's obviously still a bit of I can't say obviously too much, but I managed to get in games still very easily with it. And it's very deep. It's got like almost like a card collecting sort of feel to it, where you're unlocking things, you're unlocking weapons, special classes, and there is a lot of stuff you to unlock now. They even added like mini achievements into the game that tracks all of your progress, so how many points you get killing certain things.
I hope my file's still saved, like for what I've got unlocked. Because if I can get my Krogan Vanguard back, I'm going to beast it.
Well, the good thing is it's
online, so it should still be there.
It's attached to your gamer tag, so even if you delete your stuff off, it will still be there. So there you go. Your Krogan Battlemaster lives.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about the multiplayer?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. It just felt tacked on when I first played it. That's probably because I first played it when it first came out, so it felt a bit rushed and a bit tacked on. But they've since fleshed it out, as you said, and they've added a bit more to it. But it is very basic. I mean, you've got some maps, and then it's just a horde mode with randomly generated objectives every so often. So it is a bit basic, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
I still like playing it.
The one thing I like about the multiplayer is that you can get it's got like a lot of you may play it, you might be able to get through bronze mode with 3 other players pretty easy, but once you realise you dig deep into like the different power and tech trees that you can get into, there's a lot of actual, like, I don't like to say exploitation, but there's a lot of ways that you can become very powerful if you choose the right powers.
Yeah.
So for instance, with my Asari Vanguard, I can biotically charge into an enemy. It will recharge all of my shields immediately upon impact. It will do huge damage, then I can heavy melee, and then by then I've got my biotic charge back up again. So I literally zipping across the map. And me and Matt actually did bronze on our own. In fact, that was the very first video I did on my channel, funny enough. A Mass Effect 3 video of me and Matt playing that. And it's just us zipping around the map doing that exact same thing. And you can... obviously, there's a few things you can't do that with, like brutes, for instance, because they'll just eat you alive. But a lot of stuff you can... Yeah, and all the other classes have little things like that. If you build them wrong, then you're going to not play with them very well. But if you build them very specifically, then they can be very powerful, very, very powerful. And you can unlock some really cool guns and stuff like that. So I like there's a certain degree of complexity to it. A lot of people might say, oh, you just build them up as usual. But actually, if you look deeper into it, there is a lot that you can do there. And like I said, they have added so much more stuff into multiplayer. I'm pleasantly surprised. I take it because while I do believe that Mass Effect 3 is I hate to say the worst game, it's the least fulfilling game of the series, I don't believe that the multiplayer took away from that at all. I do believe that the multiplayer probably didn't actually take that much resources to actually create.
The thing I quite liked with Mass Effect 3 was the fact that, you know, you collected up your battle favors or whatever it was.
Your credits.
War effort, I think.
The war effort and things like that, yeah. Playing multiplayer added to that.
Yeah, it gave your galactic readiness up, and if you had it 100%, then it counts towards it, yeah.
A lot of things actually tied into the war effort, because there was a mobile app game, Mass Effect Infiltrator, where it's its own little point-and-clicking shooting game.
That added to it, yeah.
War effort.
Yeah, they definitely went toward that. They've actually lowered the amount since launch of how much war effort you need to get the top rewards, because they realised that obviously after a certain period of the game, relying on the multiplayer to give you the final ending of the game wasn't going to exactly be as legitimate as launch. So now you need a lot less to actually get the top rewards in terms of what you need to get like the final extra cutscenes of the game. So that's the multiplayer. I did enjoy it. I'm playing it now, and it is good fun. The problem is, I guess, now is that sometimes you just hop into a game, it's got really bad lag, but there is a lot of complexity there, and I do enjoy playing. It's good stuff.
The only thing that I begrudged was EA tacking on that pay-to-win bullshit.
Yeah, they did do that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think the thing is with that, right? And I do agree with you. I don't think it should be in the game, but the reason why it's a little bit easier to swallow is that if someone does that, then they're just helping you to win, because you're not fighting anyone else. You're working together. So if someone else does make themselves really overpowered and you end up in a group with them, well, fair play. Because
it's still the team benefit.
Yeah, way they're still going to be helping you with all the money they spent, and you spent nothing.
I don't begrudge it for Mass Effect, but I begrudge the pay-to-win thing itself, because it is a cancer for the game, for games, isn't it? Because it's just...
Oh, totally.
Yeah, like 99% of the time, I agree with you, and I do agree with you with this to an extent. But like I said, because it's not like pay to win, and you're making someone else lose because of that, I think it's a little bit easier to swallow with Mass Effect 3. I think
it's easier for us to swallow, but it's this kind of thing just goes on. It can get worse and worse. I mean,
and it is getting worse. That's the issue with that as well.
To completely spin off onto another game entirely, and this is one that I know Chris has played. They released a third-person shooter for the Warhammer 40k of Space Marine, and they did a multiplayer, and it had a pay-to-win section where you could get a relic bolter, and if you had that thing, that's it.
You're good for life.
Fuck everyone else. You'll go in a win.
Oh, that's really bad, isn't it, really? That's the one thing I like about Guild Wars 2. There's a lot of microtransactions, but none of them give you a competitive edge against any of your enemies.
It just looks.
It just looks, maybe finishes that are a bit more flashy. An
experience booster.
Yeah, like nothing really that makes anyone else. Like, it doesn't exactly give you like extra damage for PvP or anything like that. It doesn't give you anything like that, so it's all quite fair.
Damage items, I think, are fantastic. I really do.
Yeah. Because people enjoy games enough, they'll spend the money for it, and that's fine. It doesn't go against anyone, but there is a few games that are pissing about with pay to win, and there is a few of them. But
Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty.
yes,
Or even just something where you just pay just for a ridiculous amount of DLC that shouldn't be DLC but should be part of the game.
we're going to talk about it now with Mass Effect 3. There is some DLC that shouldn't have been a part of the game, or I do believe should be a part of the game, but shouldn't have been DLC. You shouldn't have to pay for it. From Ashes was Day 1 DLC. Funny enough, this was my second video I talked about. Day 1 DLC that was added in. It basically gives you the ability to have the character, which is a Prothean. I think his name's Javik or something.
Jarvin.
Something along those lines.
Jarvin,
I never got him
something.
because I disagree with their DLC statements. I've never played with the guy, and because I think it's stupid. If you've got Day 1 DLC, it should be on the disc. That's the way it goes. And the reason they said, well, some of it gets finished after the game has been completed. Bullshit. They knew this. A Prothean character is hugely integral to the story. They wanted, and that's the reason why they cut him out of the game and put it as DLC. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't blame BioWare. I blame EA because you know they're part of all that shit. There's a reason why they're voted the worst company in the world. So there you are. Or the most consumer
they're
evil
not the worst company in the world. They've just got the worst customer care, I reckon. They've got
they've been voted.
disregard for the consumer.
They have like the Golden Shit Award or something like that, and they've got it like those years running. Honestly, you look it up; it's true.
I believe you, but as I say, I don't think they're a bad company. I just think they've got such shit regard for the consumer that it's just appalling.
Then to me, they're a bad company. But that's what we
Okay, fair enough.
It's a bad company, really.
Yeah. So there is some of the other DLC is fine, but I thought that the Day 1 DLC was just fucking ridiculous. Let's talk about the story anyway. Obviously, the story revolves around the Reapers are finally here. You've been telling everyone the Reapers are coming, the Reapers are coming, the Reapers are coming. Then they're here, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, you were right, but it's now too late." You have to go off to find reinforcements and assemble an army, an ocean, a fleet, like a everything that you can get, war assets, and I think that's one thing that Mass Effect 3 does quite well, is giving you the very thought that you're slowly building up a monumental force. Which I thought was
you suddenly go exploring and you find this cruiser just out of nowhere, and you read about them, and it's just like, you have found the Shanghai. It's considerable to your work efforts, and it's like, oh god, yes.
Yeah.
Finding a quid in your couch cushions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you
there's
can
a lot
see
of bits and pieces around, isn't there? There's lots of more lore that's been put into number 3 as well.
Yeah.
I found there's if you're playing Mass Effect 3, you've probably played the last 2 games. You know the basic rules and lore of the universe. Here's some extra, more in-depth bits for you.
Ridiculously extensive.
Yeah, and I like a lot of the choices in the previous games will come up as numbered values of your war assets in this game. So, for instance, if you did save like the Rachni Queen, I know that comes back and it kind of helps you in this game, and that can actually become a war asset. If you got a lot of materials in Mass Effect 2, then that actually comes back as a war asset. So a lot of actual stuff, like little things you wouldn't even think of, comes back and helps you in this game if you did it. So I like, it's almost like a good overview of all the things that you've done, but it's helping you in this battle, which I quite like.
If you help save the Citadel Council, you get the Destiny Ascension, but your human fleets take a hit in which a third has come off their total value.
Yes, exactly. So it's a good overview, and it makes you think, playing through it again, which will I save, because now you know it's all going to count, and it does make you think of that, so it's quite cool.
Now, don't you feel like a dick for getting all the Krogan to step away from your war effort?
I'm gonna say they did not step away from my war effort at all. They fought
That's
on the
because
front
you
lines.
killed Krogan Jesus, you asshole.
Now,
Jesus.
so
I'm all going to refer to as Rex now.
Krogan Jesus. Oh, someone please Photoshop
Here has
that.
played the Citadel DLC.
I haven't, no.
I haven't.
No.
It has the best. Rex makes an appearance, and it's the best appearance out of nowhere, because you're getting harassed by this group of mercenaries here to kill you. One of their dropships comes out of nowhere, and there's a group of them in there with Gatling guns and everything. They're shooting at you. Literally, Rex jumps out of a 10-story window, 10 stories up, screaming all the way down, and fucking elbow drops this shuttle. Jumps into the shuttle,
best
punches everyone out of the shuttle, and then he jumps down and says, "You all right? How's it going?" And it's just like, "Are we going to talk about what just happened?" And he's like, "What this? Normal."
Well, you space Chuck Norris. That is exactly what he is.
Krogan
Yes.
Jesus.
Krogan Jesus. That sounds like a sitcom
I
now.
still really enjoyed Grunts.
Yeah, Grunts was pretty
one
cool.
that just came out of nowhere. Just like, you what? And he's just like, he's dead, and he sort of marches out, this blooded up Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like almost like he's
He
standing
turned
on
around
a,
and said,
on
I'm
a
actually quite hungry. Can we get something to eat, please?
yeah, he's like standing on a mountain of defeated Rachni. It's just yes, it's brilliant. But one thing so let's talk about who you romanced going forward before we talk about anything else. So who did you end up with in this game?
First time round, it was Tally again because she's the sweetest little thing in this game.
Yeah, Tally again for me. Chris?
I went back to the Ara, to be honest.
Yeah, I understand. She's actually much more prevalent in this game than she was in number 2. So
She's more useful in this game. She's as well because I know she's supposed to be that way, but in the first game she's very she's almost a bit childish and a bit immature sometimes. And
Naive.
She is
By
so,
that
like
point, she's
108
probably
years
grown up.
old. Sorry, that's like barely an adult. It's
Yeah.
not even an
Yeah,
adult.
but in the third one, she's like, "Yeah, I'm the motherfucking shadow broker now."
yeah,
So you just walk into her room and she's just got like a wall of screens.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm a fucking crime lord now.
I do
Yeah,
like
I
her
know
story
everything
arc.
about everyone.
I like her story arc and how you talk to her when Thessia is destroyed. I really like her character because you don't see her broken down at all, and then when you see her there, there's nothing left of her. Emotionally, she's gone.
But when you talk her up, that's just amazing. It's just
Yeah.
we're going to save them. But what if Liara, we're going to save them?
Yeah, there's a cool conversation. Who did you romance, Matt?
Do you know what? I don't even remember.
You're too busy
was all-
saving the world, damn
It's
it.
terrifying. I genuinely can't remember.
It was all a wash of Ragnar.
I think it was the interviewer.
Oh, cool.
Diana Allers.
That's a
think so.
difficult one to get. Nice.
Nailed Diana.
Ooh, Jessica
Bloody hell.
Chobot. Did she lick your PSP?
She did take the PSP.
Did she lick your PSP? Oh, I bet she licked it too. There you are. Okay, let's talk about memorable moments. For mine, it has to be Thane's awesome final fight and death. I think
fuck
that
yeah.
Oh,
Thane's bit in this, honestly, during his battle, just to explain what happens, the Cerberus attack the Citadel, and Thane decides, I'm going to be a hero for the very last time in my life. He defends, what was it? I think it's a Solarian...
he defends the Solarian
it was a Solarian,
yeah.
council member.
And he fights Kai Leng. Now you've got to remember, Thane is on the brink of death. He's not much
literally
left
dying.
of him. He is dying, and he tells
Can't
you,
even breathe anymore.
yeah. But Kai Leng, with his infinite amount of upgrades and badassery, even he can't keep up with Thane for a majority of this fight. And I got out of my seat. I was like, kick his ass, Thane, kick his ass.
Yeah.
And
Come on,
then Kai Leng gets the better of him and implants him with his
It's that
sword.
moment where it's just like everything stopped, and then you see Thane crumple a bit, and you're like, you just feel your breath bites.
Yes. From that moment on, I know that I love that the game went back to it when you do eventually get Kai Leng and you
was for
defeat
Thane,
him. That was
son
for
of a
Thane,
bitch.
yeah. And I love they went back to that because I was thinking that myself when I was fighting the guy. I was like, I'm gonna do this for Thane because that was so badass the way they did that scene. But Matt
Yeah.
never saw it, so
No.
This beautiful image of Tony just literally just smashing through, just screaming Thane's name out.
yeah. Oh man, I thought it was such a cool moment because I very rarely I do get emotionally involved in games, but I very rarely get out of my seat and I'm like looking at the TV with everything that I've got, and that's what I thought. This bit was awesome. I really did.
Yeah, I honestly thought Thane was going to actually going to win it.
Yeah, I thought they was going to kick his
It leads
ass.
that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
like, yes.
When Kai Leng keeps appearing afterwards, it's just literally every time you see him, you just go, you.
Yeah.
Judas.
And he's only a good character, Kai Leng, in terms of an antagonist because he killed Thane. It's nothing about how good he is. It's just because
You don't care about.
I did
his
struggle to
story or
actually
anything.
care
You just
about
like
him as an
murder of
enemy.
Thane.
So I think that's what I was missing.
Yeah. That also because he just kind of just jumps in, almost like your replacement from the elusive man in.
Yeah.
No, you're out.
Oh,
of
you
service.
don't want to help? That's all right. I got this Chinese samurai cyber biotic.
Yeah, woo! What about memorable moments for you guys? What was your memorable moments?
Well, continuing on what you were talking about with Thane's death, I'll get to my memorable moment, but Thane's death was, it's just really impactful, especially if you've got, if you romanced him and you've done all the friendship options. His death is one of the best I have ever seen done in a video game.
Yeah.
I romanced him in Mass Effect 2 on my Femshep, just on my playthrough now, just for that scene, because I haven't seen it. So I'm
For
really
the love
looking
of
forward
God, Tony, get the Citadel DLC, because he's got this beautiful moment where he properly Jedi's Ghost standing next to you on the pier, and you just have a small conversation, and it's beautiful.
to it. Nice.
Yeah.
Like it.
Like seriously, get the tissues out, man. I teared up. There was a manly tear of manly awesomeness trickle down my cheek when he finally went out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
It is. I mean, even without having a romance, you feel like you got sucker punched. You really do, and it's it's good stuff. Go on.
Yeah,
So your
my
real memorable moment.
See, this is really difficult because I have quite a lot of decent memorable moments from the third one because I went full Paragon and I made sure I talked like everyone to death.
Yeah.
So, but my most memorable moment was actually Modron's death.
Yeah.
Because it is one of the deaths, like Thane's, that is almost completely unavoidable.
Yeah.
And he is going to go do this unless you want to be a complete bastard and, stop him from doing it.
Mm.
But I sent him up to do it and, Modron just shows he's such a compassionate fucking badass.
Yeah.
Because he shows no sense of hesitation whatsoever. It's just like, this needs to be done. I'm going to go do this. And you know what? I'm going to sing a fucking show tune while I do it.
Wasn't that? I was just literally screaming at him, no, let me do it. Morden, you're too awesome to die. And he's just like, no, it's got to be me.
Yeah. I love the way that he's willing to write what he believes is wrong with his own life. That he believes about it that strongly, and he gets it over to you. And it is a really huge part of the story that he's involved in at that point. The whole Krogan arc is ended at that point.
Yeah, because he faces it, without fear, without hesitation, without doubt. Because he knows it needs to be done to save this species.
Yes, that's it.
Without a doubt, the manliest of men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Far Thane.
So Tom, your most memorable moment,
Oh God, how do you even pick?
or a memorable moment? So
There was, I could talk about just those little moments on the Citadel when you just meet your companion, meet your teammates, and you just have those little moments. Having the bromance with Garrus on top of that bridge, just sniping
that
bots.
is such a cool
That
moment.
was sick.
If you actually missed the shot deliberately,
I missed the shot deliberately.
I missed the shot.
I was like,
I
fuck
didn't.
that shit, I'm beating him.
I'm not a
hot
space
bastard.
Nazi, okay? I missed the shot because I have compassion, okay?
Yeah, killer of Krogan.
Tony killed Krogan Jesus, but you missed the shot. You couldn't let Garrus have that.
No, man. I've been nice to him throughout the entire fucking 3 games. I think I deserve to take one for myself.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You're saving the universe. You could at least let Garrus think
I'm
he's a
saving
better
the
shot than
universe.
you.
I can take a fucking shooting competition if I want to. I'm going to be blowing the shit out of Reapers later on.
Space Nazi.
Sniping Reaper in the eye from 20 miles away, but you could at least let Garrus kill a bottle.
It's a
Tell
fair
him about
argument.
that.
No, it's my victory, damn it.
You can't let Garrus have anything, can
My
you?
moral win.
Why
Yeah.
did you pick what you picked, Matt?
Pick what I picked.
Yeah, you picked to shoot it as well, didn't you?
Yes,
So why did you pick that?
because I'm Shepherd.
Because I'm Shepherd, bitches.
You're right. I could
For
let
no
Chris
other
pick
reason than that. Because if anything, it just keeps. It's that sort of just like that sort of bromance thing sort of going. It's just sort of like you still got to be as good as me though. Just remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more like
Alright,
you were more like you were keeping him in check. Like you still got to keep getting better because the war's not
Sure,
over,
man.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. So your most memorable moment, Matt?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a lot.
Do you know what? It wasn't even story driven, but the one bit that really comes to mind, just because it really annoyed me, it's during the final defense on Earth, and you're on that in London,
Oh, I know which
Yeah.
exactly what
and
the
you're
one
at
talking
this. There's a big block of concrete, and there's shops around you, and there's banshees everywhere.
about. Yeah.
Have fun.
Banshees for all.
You just run and
You see that
hide from
screech, you just feel
everything.
your sphincter just clench up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, banshees. Yeah, they're nasty pieces of work. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean because that bit is like at the same time. Also, you forgot to state that you're getting shot by a Reaper at the exact same time, so you got to keep dodging in and
yeah.
out.
That's true.
Yeah.
How could I forget that bit?
Yeah.
That
is
is
it.
Jesus.
Savage final battle in the game. Let's talk about some of the choices then. I know you guys are going to go mental for this. How did you deal with the Krogan?
Well,
I cured them.
I
I
killed it.
killed them. You've got the choice of either having the Solarians back you or the Krogans, and I'm just thinking, yeah, is this really a contest? Do I want some
What's
frogs?
this? Possibly the biggest war of the entire galaxy that they've ever had.
I hated the Solarians for that. It's just like, if you kill the Krogan, we won't help you. We won't. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
but you get
really?
the Solarians back up anyway, so their kind of whole choice that they impose on you doesn't mean a goddamn thing anyway. Because you get their support later on.
You don't get much of their support. I mean, you get Major... Oh, what's his name? You get the Major who survived from Mass Effect 1,
Yeah.
if he survived.
Yeah.
You get a few other bits and pieces.
And
you
a few other
pick
little
up.
bits and pieces you find here and there, but you don't get the full Solarian fleet. And I'm just thinking, you arrogant cockend.
Yeah, but you never get that anyway. And like the Krogan fleet and the Krogan military force is actually more than the Solarian one. So
It's
Even
because
though
we're
they're supposed
dealing
to
with
be like-
space camel lizards that can kill something just by squatting on it.
yeah,
I'm going to explain why I condemned the Krogan race to death. Well, to a very
Just
least, the
kill
Yeah,
Genovese
it's justified
continued.
as
Jesus.
well.
Right. This is the reason why. Now, my choice at the end of the game, obviously Morden gave a little bit of resistance, but he survives. I told him to get the fuck out of the way, and he can go and work on the Crucible. So in my playthrough, he survived. He didn't die. The reason why I did this is because of the Krogan rebellions. I'm not going to save the world for the Krogan to become the new Reapers. Sorry, no, not dealing with that. The Krogan have to stay exactly as they are.
yeah. But that
And
was
you
the
know,
old Krogan
you
that
know
was
full well.
created by the Turians and the Solarians. They are now different. Rex is now bringing them back.
No.
Bringing them
Listen
back
to me.
Make-
Right,
Listen
right.
to me.
I had
Krogan
Rex
could have
and
brought this
Grunt.
together.
If anyone was... Huh?
Krogan
Gareth.
Jesus would have brought it together.
But
Krogan
he was
Jesus
dead
led the way of
in my
peace.
playthrough.
Yeah, but in like I'm guessing in our playthrough, we
Yeah.
justified it because we had Rex and we had Grunt, and if anyone's going to keep the fucking Krogan together, it's going to be those two.
Well, in my playthrough, I don't
And
know.
plus,
Obviously,
Mrs. that you save as well. She don't take no shit.
yeah,
She did not.
Yeah.
Oh, the
she's a
matriarch,
legendary.
Yeah, god damn, the matriarch is pretty badass.
yeah, she's a pretty cool character. I did enjoy her. But then the reason I like the Krogan, I do like Grunt, and I dislike Rex because he decided to go against my authority. But still,
But he was Krogan Jesus.
the reason why I condemn them, right, is because obviously I'm playing it through as Rex now being alive, and I do understand what you're saying. He seems to have everything in check. Even in number 2, he seems like he's getting a good plan going. But when he's dead, it just seems like they're still fighting against each other. You know full well that they still heavily. The reason why they don't come to help you at the beginning of Mass Effect 3 is because they still heavily dislike the Turians. They did heavily dislike the Solarians. And they've got a general dislike of other races because they kind of let this all go on anyway.
Yeah,
And
you're basically talking, "Hi guys, we just."
I think I'd be a bit narky.
yes, but
Yeah.
still, if you're going to save them, then they're still going to be pissed off. They're going to become the new Reaper Force. So I had
Hey
to stop
guys,
it.
we just took your bollocks, friends.
No, I understand that. But look, listen, Krogan rebellions, they almost destroyed everyone. They really did. And you're going to give them the power to do that again. So, no.
But
Sorry.
they were so much younger back then as a civilization. Now they're
They
much
still
more
have blood
mature and they
rage.
understand what can happen.
No, they still have blood. I didn't trust him. So,
And you could argue, though,
so basically, I made them think that I'd used the cure. I convinced Morden it was the right thing to do, so he went off and survived. He lived.
you
And
denied him his sacrifice as well,
because-
you asshole.
yeah, because Rex was obviously dead. The guy that took his place never realised what I did. I do know that if Rex survives and you try and pull that shit, he not only withdraws the Krogan from you, but you have to fight him and you have to kill him because he comes and he's obviously quite pissed off about it.
Yeah.
But that's the reason.
Understandably so.
That's the reason why I picked it. I wasn't going to save the world for a new Reaper-like threat of these guys just breeding, and then
That is
deciding,
an
you know
unfair
what?
comparison, sir.
No, I think it is personally. That's the way I was thinking about it.
I understand your reasoning, but I say it's unfair.
That's why I like this game. You can make different choices. And
You
it puts
sir
you in
are a bastard.
Space nutty.
Yeah.
How did you deal with the Quarians and the Geth?
I got them to work together.
I tried
Yeah.
to, but it
Seriously,
just
how the
wouldn't
fuck
work.
did you do that? I could never get it right.
Yeah, I tried to,
Really?
but it didn't work for me. I ended up because obviously I was romancing Tali, and it was a little bit like they weren't coming to aid, and like you're trying to make it work, and then I think there's like a choice where I just had to go like, well, I can't do this. I can't put the Quarian fleet where the Geth can destroy them, and that's where it happened. So.
So
How do you-
to answer Chris's question, how could I do it? Paragon options. I'm Space Jesus.
Yeah, but I had my one up to full as well. I was also Space Jesus Chuck Norris. And
Clearly
just
not,
to go
sir.
one more.
I was going to say I managed it as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I could never get the right option. I I could never I got it so fucking close so many times. Like I remember playing like Mass Effect 3 through about 5 times just for this fucking scenario.
I think it does rely on what options you take as
Oh,
well.
I know what it is. Your Legion died. If your Legion dies, it's impossible to get them to work together. I think.
I actually had him live. I had him and Tali live. I think someone else died in one playthrough. I think it was like Miranda or someone unimportant.
Someone that doesn't deal with this particular thing.
Yeah. Yes. Someone who isn't really prevalent in number 3. I mean, yes, Miranda
She's
popped
not
up in number
prevalent.
3.
She does make quite a significant appearance.
Yeah, but she doesn't do anything useful.
To this storyline anyway. That's what I'm talking about. To the Quarians and the Geth, she doesn't do that much.
Yeah, she's not. But I have both of them standing on a hill at one point, and I was like, right, okay, I've done all their friendship things. I'm friends with both of them. I kind of, I'm trying to romance Tali, but I could never kind of get it quite all the way to full romance, which is always really annoying. I could never get it all the way there. But I always ended up being really close friends with her. It's like, great, I get friend zoned.
How do you manage that? I can't not.
It's because if you don't romance her in Mass Effect 2, she's unromanceable in Mass Effect 3.
Oh, right. But yeah, I had them there, and it's like, I'd get them so close to a compromise, literally within touching distance of a compromise, and then one of them would just go off on a tangent and go, no, I don't want to do it anymore, and throw
I didn't even have original Legion.
Oh, really?
No.
I thought it was impossible to do without original Legion, but
No, I had new Legion.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck, how'd you do that?
Uber Renegade. Sort your shit out. This is for the good of the galaxy.
Yeah.
I will smack you with my dick.
Or what, you go Mega Renegade on them, dude?
I go, mate, for some reason, I can't play Mass Effect and stay Paragon.
Nah,
The
to
moment,
me it's the same.
moment the dick option comes up, I'm like, I'm being a dick.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to.
Space Chuck Norris, some Space Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm literally for the good of the galaxy, sort your shit out.
Yeah, that's it. For you guys calling me space Nazi, I did try and get them to work. It just didn't. That's the thing. I wanted them to come to. The reason being is because when you go into like the Geth homeworld, it's really enlightening to just what the stuff they've gone through, and you get a lot of their backstory and stuff like that. So
I have to say though, when it came to the decision, I always sided with the Geth.
No, I sided with the Quarians because of Tali.
Fuck the Quarians. The Geth deserve it more. After what the Quarians did to the Geth, and then somehow tried to paint the Geth up as the main asshole bad guys, like dicks of the universe, unthinking killing machines, when actually they were AI created by the Quarians, and the Quarians had tried to exterminate them because they were afraid of what they created instead of trying to understand what they created. I was on the side of the Geth, and I'm like, no, sorry. The Geth actually have the moral high ground on this one, and they're actually going to be more useful in the fight because you're all a bunch of pussies who'll freak out the instant you get a fucking hull breach. So you're going to be fucking useless.
If there's anything that I've learned from being married, you always got to stick with your girl, bro. And I was romancing Tali, so there you go.
Yeah, but fuck the Quarians, they're useless. How? What?
You got to stick with your girl, bro.
As soon as there's as soon as a fucking shell or like an energy beam hits one of their ships and knocks one of them over, they're going to be like, oh no! They're going to be checking that. They're all going to be too busy checking their suits for fucking tears, and then they'll get blown out the sky by the nearest fucking Reaper. They're useless.
One thing I will say about the Geth, right, is that I for some reason, you know what?
Fleet, Chris.
Yeah, a fleet of life ships and civilian ships. Their actual military strength is so apocalyptic.
It's slim.
It is like negligible. They have like no tactical advantage whatsoever. Huh?
All their weapons are mounted with weaponry, so they can fight.
And if there's going to be any race,
they're still all ships that were designed to be lived on rather than to actually fight with.
If there was going to be any
ramshackle parts, Tali's always going on about how shit's always breaking.
Like, if there's going to be any race though that would build back the Mass Effect relays quick enough, it would be the Quarians. So
that's true.
Now,
yeah, but you have the collectors on the fucking Citadel, don't you?
Yeah, there's that.
The keepers, what do? They literally just go around and press buttons and
they keep everything.
They keep everything. Yeah.
Yeah, they fix everything, don't they?
Yeah.
No, yeah, but you can't. They don't. They're just like drones.
Yeah, like they've tried to they've killed them before, and then one just replaces them the next day. It's like you can't get rid of them. They just come from the bowels of the Citadel.
And there are keepers on the mass relays themselves.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Yes,
they're completely unmanned.
No, they're not. There's keepers on there.
Yeah, the keepers aren't exactly man, are they?
Oh, you know what I mean. There's no living thing on the.
Yeah,
there are keepers on there.
I don't.
Are there? I've never heard
that. It's
I don't know
buried
enough
in the
about
history, but there are keepers on the mass relays.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to double check that.
Yeah. The reason, by the way, that I saw the Geth differently to the Krogan, I just don't know. I just saw them not as I saw them obviously as these force, obviously because Legion kind of gives you that sort of enlightenment about them. I didn't see them as a race that would actively go and destroy other races. I did see the Krogan as a race
They
that
just
would
want to
do
be
that.
left alone, really.
Yeah,
They
so
do, yeah.
I saw the Krogan as getting pissed off all the stuff happened to them, and then getting revenge once they've got all their race back up and running. So that's the reason why I looked at them differently. Anyway, what ending did you guys pick? Did you pick the control, the destroy, or the synthesis ending, where you merge every DNA, which is totally against the Mass Effect ethic? But anyway, what ending did you pick?
I
Destroy.
chose merge.
Oh, you
I
did
chose
synthesis.
I did, yes. I went synthesis because I went, well, I don't want to enslave everything. I don't really want to blow everything up. I'm really interested to see what the synthesis ending is like. So I'm going to jump into the big white light and make myself God.
God, and you get faded away, and everyone becomes a blue, like a green sort of mesh of things. I picked destroy. One, because I thought control was exactly what the elusive man wanted to do, and obviously he was indoctrinated, so I thought, now I don't even want to trust that. Synthesis I didn't want to do either, because I saw Mass Effect as a series being all about a collection of races coming together because they're different, and because they have differences, and because they managed to put that aside and work together, whereas Synthesis is taking that away. You're basically making their decision for them to be all the same.
I mean, as it turns out, synthesis is, well, the Reapers win.
Yeah, well,
Anyway.
if you look at it with a certain theory, that some say that synthesis is exactly what the Reapers want you to do. So that's a way of looking at it. I chose destroy because it's the simplest option. It gets rid of the Reapers, and then that's it. We can just
Even though it kills off Edie and the Geth.
yes,
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that's what I did first time.
yeah. If there was an option to do that without killing them, then I would have done it. But still, that was the option that I picked. Now, obviously, there was a lot of the indoctrination theory, which is a huge thing, which basically a really good theory that was disproved by BioWare. I don't agree
I
with
was going to bring that up, actually.
but basically, after you get zapped by Harbinger's ray that doesn't kill you, there's a really cool video that's done that basically goes through why they believe that you're fighting indoctrination, and the final bit of the game is all about you fighting said indoctrination. It's not. It doesn't actually take place. It's all in your mind, and there's a really good video on it. But with the extended cut DLC, they essentially said no, that isn't the case. I thought it was a really good ending.
It's
actually,
a shame because that was a gorgeous theory.
Gorgeous theory, it really was.
Yeah, because they work the dream sequences into it as well, don't they?
Yeah, they not only that, they go back to the very first game, and they get evidence from that as well. It's awesome.
Like for how long has he been sort of subtly indoctrinated into this?
Exactly. Like he's been around countless Reaper stuff. And I remember there's a mission in Mass Effect 3 that I'm doing now where they're absolutely panicking because they realise that one of the Hanar has been close to even just remotely close to a Reaper artifact, and he's been indoctrinated. So like the fact is that you've been through hundreds of Reaper artifacts, and like the very idea of Shepard not at least fighting a little bit of indoctrination is very odd. So it just came off really well. But obviously that's not the case. Talking of the extended cut DLC, you may be wondering, why the hell would they do that? The ending, the most controversial ending of recent memory, the game was lambasted by fans for having
everyone hated it.
Yeah, for having.
I've heard some people that.
Yeah, see, I didn't mind it either. I didn't think it was
it.
half as bad as everyone was making it out to be. Everyone was making it out to be the most horrible ending to any game ever made. It might have been a little bit lackluster, but it wasn't exactly terrible. I think
to be fair, how are you going to finish off a series like this?
Yeah, it's a massive task. I think that one of the main reasons being a lot of players had a lot of problems with taking away that a lot of it is nonsensical, and they did fix a lot of that in the extended cut DLC, is because of the fact that the game had promised vastly different endings, and it didn't operate on that function. That essentially it was 3 different color templates with a little bit of differences between each one. It wasn't that different.
And a lot of people complained that it didn't seem that any of your decisions actually meant anything up to that point, because it was 3 arbitrary decisions that you have to make at the end.
Yeah, it's like, what was the point in making all your war assets? I think there was a lot of people. Now, I hugely disagree with them actually making the extended cut DLC, even though I thought it was cool that they did it. The reason being, I look at games as art form, and I don't think that. I think gaming is weird in the aspect that the fans believe that if they've been wrongly done, they can get these petitions done, which they did, to change the end of the game. And I firmly believe that you get what you get, and if you dislike it, then you dislike it. Don't demand that they change things. That's their artistic direction that they choose to go in. If you dislike it, then that's.
Although everyone really applaud BioWare for actually releasing Extended Cut DLC completely free as well.
Yeah.
That was a good move on their part. They went, okay, fair enough. We fucked up. You don't like it. Here's a bit more. Hopefully, you'll enjoy this a bit better. So that was kind of a good move on their part.
I was much more satisfied with the Extended Cut DLC.
I haven't actually played that yet.
Oh, it is good. Like, for instance, like at the endings of the game, it vastly makes a different change for if you choose each of the 3 different choices. Like for instance, with the control ending, if you choose to control the Reapers, you actually see like a very long, lengthy conversation of Shepard talking about him being in control of the Reapers, and like
it's no longer Shepard.
Yeah, he's talking.
Shepard.
Yeah, exactly.
He is God. Shepard God.
And like you see like kind of like a faded image of him like talking, but it's the human side of him is completely gone, but he's something higher than that now, and something like that is pretty cool.
You see the Reapers fixing up everything, and he talks about being a force to protect the galaxy now and ensure peace.
Yeah,
and
sweet.
Being basically galactic police,
Space Jesus.
Space Jesus. So I do like the fact they changed a little bit. The thing is though, while you say it was really good, and obviously they got a lot of, they kind of turned the negative press into good press by doing that. I firmly believe they shouldn't have had to do that. Personally,
I agree.
I think that it was very silly of fans to demand that a petition to change the ending of the game. I think that was hugely stupid.
It seems really odd because surely a game like that they'd have like play tested.
Yeah,
and it's just like surely someone would have gone, well, actually that ends a bit weak.
But then a lot of gamers nowadays, some of them act like really spoiled, entitled little shits, don't they?
Yeah. Like, I don't believe by any statement they were saying, well, this game has to be changed. We have the right to have it changed. No, you don't. You don't have the right to have it changed.
You bought the game too late.
You're like you have the right to say that you dislike the ending. Do you have the right to force them to change it? No. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
and
you have the right to tell the makers of the games that you disapprove of their content. You have
the right to an opinion.
But
you don't have the right
actually
to
change the content yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I just think it was very silly. They did it anyway because they're kind of forced to. I thought the fan reaction against them, and as I said, when I played the ending, I didn't think it was great personally, but because I'd heard of such an uproar before I played the ending, I was a little bit sort of like, well, why is everyone losing their shit over this? It's not like they basically, instead of right at the ending of Shepard about to choose his final choice and you find out what happens, they just put a big picture of a fucking birdie in your face. Of someone...
They just like, make your final decision. Now, too late, everything blows up.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? It's not like, they just go quit now and then like there's a massive, now you had to buy DLC to get the ending. It wasn't like that.
Shepard steps on a landmine. Oh no.
Yeah. Just fades to black like the Sopranos.
Well, considering at that point he's like fucked. It's like that's like a girder falls on his head.
Just randomly gone.
Do you know what now? There's actually a choice with the Extended Cut DLC to not make a choice.
Yes, you can shoot the Star Child in the head, can't you? And he'll get all angry and tell you very well you've made your choice.
Yeah, and then everything dies.
Yes.
Then it just cuts to Liara talking about Shepard in this cavern somewhere.
Yeah.
On this.
Yeah, with the art, whatever it was she made. Yeah,
that's it. Now, if you've got so just a little bit of extra, if you've got the very top amount of war assets, and you decide to do the destroy option at the end of the game, you actually find that Shepard isn't dead. You find that he actually survives. It's the only ending where he can survive the game, and the other two he gets killed because obviously in the synthesis ending, his body is used as like a template to forge the fusion of synthetic and organic. And in Control, he basically gets Control. He kind of still lives, but his body is destroyed. Any kind of thoughts of
he's not human, but he's got sentience over the Reapers.
Yes, exactly.
See, I didn't like that bit. When I first saw that, I thought, no, that's shit. That's a fucking cop.
The Control ending? I thought
no. The Destroy ending where he lives. No, that's shit. That's a fucking cop-out. There is no way in hell he can get off that thing before it explodes. It is a blatant cop-out to the fans who are getting pissy because he died.
Yeah,
I believe that because, do you know why, Chris? Space Jesus.
Space Jesus.
No,
But like,
Space
you look
Chuck
at the
Norris. Did
explosion.
Space Chuck Norris be killed off by an exploding space station? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's like, seriously, did you see that explosion? There was no way in fuck he could have found the way
Yeah.
there.
Unless he was Space Jesus or Space Chuck Norris.
Considering that he only when he didn't get blown up in the Normandy SR1, he just fell to obviously had oxygen leak. Would you imagine he would have done? You wouldn't have had any like his suit was destroyed. So let's say that he got destroyed and the impact didn't kill him. Falling back to Earth would have killed him. Just absolutely. So,
For like the beginning of 2?
No, in the beginning of 2, obviously he dies.
Re-entry would have killed him.
Yeah.
But that was naked re-entry. He wasn't in the debris of a space station.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, because he gets blown up in that space station, you know? It's just, I don't know. I do agree with Chris on that one. It's just stupid. It really
I
is.
don't agree.
No, it's a cop-out.
Yeah.
It is such a fucking limp-wristed cop, like cock fucking waggling, fucking just limp-wristed pussy-ass cop-out to the fans who wanted Shepard to live because they like him so much. No, he's fucking dead.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say...
What more could he do? It's
one
just
thing...
like, something bad's happening. Yeah, I destroyed the Reapers.
Yeah. Like, one thing I will say...
looked down at him and said, "You have done so much, my son. I will give you this reprieve."
Yeah, but it's not like he completely dies, because, like, for the control option, he technically lives anyway, but he moves on beyond what he was to become something greater.
Yeah.
For the simplest option, he does,
he just stops.
He lives in the sense that he helps create another form of life, so he moves on to something more than he was. And then the control
he doesn't. He just becomes part of the
He becomes... His atoms just spread across the entire galactic thing.
Yeah, he becomes inside everyone.
I'm
touching your jeans.
That sounds so sordid.
I'm in your sandwich.
Going back to the Destroy ending now, and I know that you were saying about that. In the extended cut DLC, I think they toned down the destruction. So, like, there is explosions, but not where Shepard is. So I think they kind of fixed that a little bit. I think
but there is. The centre of the explosion is still where Shepard was. Yes, it's not quite so epic as it was in the first one, where it like completely annihilates the centre of the citadel.
Yeah, like it's gone.
A bajillion pieces, but it's still quite a sizable explosion.
Yeah, but to a degree, it's a little bit more.
Pay attention to where that fucking elevator goes. It takes him up above the central spire of the citadel, right? Okay. The explosion is centred on the centre spire of the
Crucible.
Citadel.
It's on the Crucible when he gets blown up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's on the Crucible when it gets blown up.
Yeah, he's on the Crucible.
Well, he's on the Crucible, which is in the centre of the fucking
thing.
Yeah,
I know what you mean, yeah.
So the explosion is still centred on him, and you see him walking into the explosion, shooting at it with a gun.
Yeah.
You see him walk into the fucking explosion. I mean, if he'd shot it or put a mine on it and then ran away, okay, I maybe would have brought it a little bit. Maybe he found some Deus Ex mechanical way to get back to Earth. Maybe he found the only teleporter in existence in the Mass Effect universe on there or something. But no, he walks into the explosion, firing at it, giving his life to destroy the Reapers. And then they have this little cop-out ending where he kind of lives on Earth.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, okay, I maybe would have brought it if it had been wreckage of him on the Citadel. Or if it had been...
Was he on the Citadel, though? Because I thought he was on the Citadel.
No, he was in Earth. It is quite clearly an Earth background shot.
How is it a clearly Earth background? It's bright red... It's
because it's a background shot that is used on Earth.
How is it on Earth? All I see is just this mess of rubble and just red background lighting like it was on the Citadel. So I thought it was on the Citadel.
No, it's on Earth. It is even specified that it's on Earth.
I didn't see it specified anyway. I swear it's still the Citadel.
No, the developers themselves have specified that the breathing scene takes place on Earth. No, that's not fucking possible at all.
No, I don't know that, but still.
I don't know that. I'm going to have to double check
It's still, regardless of which way you look at it, it's very unlikely that he ever survived.
Yeah, and for me, it was just a really cop-out ending, and I didn't think it was necessary.
No.
It was...
Now, still, regardless of that, the Mass Effect 4, they've stated that they're not going to go back to Shepard. They're making a new sort of hero, which I agree with.
Is it going to be a new hero or like a RPG type hero thing like Skyrim?
No, I think they'll still do like the whole Shepard template.
They say.
But basically it's a new character, so it won't be Shepard. It'll be someone else that you.
Going to the completely undiscovered regions of the galaxy.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
See,
And
what I wonder if they'll do is like if you've got like a saved profile on of like Mass Effect 3, if like that game will then take notice of who you've romanced and like make you have some kind of cross species kid,
maybe.
Like
That would be cool.
like Shepard and Liara, or like Shepard and Jack, or Shepard and Miranda, or someone like that.
Or
Yeah.
if you've got like Morden still alive, he's cloned you.
That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah, which you guys don't get to
No,
get
no, what
because
we-
you
but
decided
it's
to
alive.
sacrifice him, and I kept him alive. So there you go.
I didn't decide to sacrifice him. He did it himself.
You made
Burks
it.
didn't
better.
shoot himself in the face, did
You're a
he?
space Nazi, you are, for letting him die.
You don't have the new clone Shepard as the hero. You have him as the main antagonist.
I was the evil guy.
Cloned and then
Ah.
Do you know much about the DLC for the Citadel?
You have to fight like a version of yourself, don't you? Like a
You actually fight an evil clone of you.
yeah.
Spoiler warning.
That does sound very sort of sitcom-y for some reason, though, like a little bit cheesy plot, but still.
It is a little bit, and it's wonderful because they do acknowledge it's the crew, because it's just, there's one moment it's just like, I saw you, but you're right here, what's going on? Literally someone says, it's a clone of Shepard. You get used to this kind of thing.
Yeah, this shit happens all the time.
Literally, it's just like, this happens. Yeah, just run with it. Don't think too hard about it. It just, yeah.
Well, if you think about it, when Cerberus was like rebuilding Shepard, did they make any like test models of him? Did they
That's exactly where the clone came from.
Oh,
is
there
it?
you go. Oh,
Oh, there you go then. Yeah.
interesting stuff.
He was former Cerberus, but then when real Shepard woke up, they kind of like were going to get rid of evil clone, and he kind of and they just kind of went off on their own way and became a real lone wolf dick type. And whoever's in your party when you're confronting him at a time, he will look at them and he will talk them down, really, really abuse them.
Oh, really? Jesus. Wow.
Bloody hell.
I've got to get this now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I will say now, Citadel is the best DLC I've ever played ever.
It's fan
Better
service, though,
than
isn't it?
Far Cry Blood Dragon.
No, nothing's better than Far Cry Blood Dragon. Get out of it.
Yeah, we're
Cunt
comparing
stabber.
to Nazi oranges.
So yeah, I think we've covered all three games pretty well there. Let's talk a little bit about Mass Effect 4. There's not much to talk about. We don't really know that much about it.
The only thing I've ever seen is some released footage for the new Mako.
Yes.
They're bringing back the Mako.
The Mako's coming back.
That's
Oh, they are.
I firmly believe that Mass Effect 4 will be much closer to Mass Effect 1. I really do. And I think it'll be a very... Obviously, they're going to go back to exploration.
Yeah.
They're going to go back to... I think a lot of the key features that they felt they couldn't do because the story took precedence in the last two games. That's what I believe, anyway. I know
You make it sound like it's a bad thing that story took precedence. Story's a driving force.
No, I don't. While I say Mass Effect 1 has a lot of good stuff, I still think Mass Effect 2 is the best out of the three, and I stand by that. Because I think that while, like I said, it doesn't have as much exploration, I just think that everything was tighter, and sometimes Mass Effect 3, I feel like the game got ahead of itself a little bit too much, or tried to oversell it a little bit too much, and that's what I believe. But anyway. So there's that. They're going to be building it on a brand new engine, which I think is desperately needed.
Yeah.
I hope that they don't. I want them to change some stuff, but I hope that I hope they build on the stuff that they did right. So, like in terms of the way that they deliver their story, nothing needs to change there. It's fine as it is. Mass Effect is one of the best games out there for interactive storytelling. So I don't think that you do need to change the way that gets delivered.
I don't think we have to worry anything like that because it's BioWare and they just write.
Yes.
They just write full stop.
Yeah, they can't
Everything
stop.
they write is solid gold.
Yeah. Well, Dragon Age 2, but there we go.
That's EA again. Let's not go there.
So with Mass Effect 5, I think there is a lot of potential.
5?
4, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, still, they're looking at making a new trilogy, so Mass Effect 4, 5, and 6. There's a lot of potential that are going to go in there. I just hope they go back to their roots, because I think if they try and work off Mass Effect 3 rather than the Mass Effect series, I don't think they're going in the right direction.
The combat mechanic can stay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good stuff.
They need something else to go with the combat mechanic.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, they do. Maybe this is the time where they finally give you space combat, but we'll still see where they go from there. Now, just talking about Mass Effect series as in general, I think Mass Effect series is a tremendous series. We're all in agreement there. I like the fact that it ups the ante every game that you play.
It's one of the most deep and like immersive games that you can find in like the RPG genre at all. You can just get lost in it.
Yeah.
And just a sheer amount of like backstory, especially in the later games, is just fucking insane.
It is mental. It's good
They
stuff.
really do work hard because they really do get some new species, something that most people haven't thought of. Because if you look at most sci-fi genres, like Star Trek, for example, all you get is basic humanoid things, and you just get bored of that, don't you?
Yeah.
Which is
I mean, I was going to sort of save this question. I was going to sort of save this question for a bit later on, but I'll go for it now. Favorite NPC alien race?
Oh, that's a.
Ooh.
I got to say Solarian.
No, not even a team player one. Not even that. Like, you can't have them in your team.
Well, that's
Like-
really hard then, because you
what?
get lots of the races in there.
Like the Hanar,
No.
Elcor. Elcor.
Elcor.
I
Elcor.
Who were the
really do
little,
like the
who were the
Elcor. I
little
find it
fat
charming.
dumpy ones?
Bolus.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate the
Very good.
butlets. Every time I see one, I want to pop open their suits.
Yeah. They talk
I
so
have to-
slowly as well. It's hard just chatting with them. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, Earth One, but I can't seem to find my credits.
Do you remember that bolus? Did you meet that bolus on Mass Effect 2 on the Citadel who was really harassing that quarry? And
Yeah.
then he turned around and said, "Oh, she could have stolen it." And you're just like, "You motherfucker!"
Yeah.
Punch you in the head.
What species were they?
What?
They worked with the Krogan in the mercenary parties.
Oh, the Vorcha.
That's it.
Vorcha. I loved it. When I used to play multiplayer with my dad, he'd just shout out when he killed someone, "I eat you," in a Vorcha voice, just so funny. He'd be like, "Vorcha, I eat you." It's like, okay, calm down, Dad. You're enjoying it a bit too much, I think.
I still sort of stand personally. Like, I have to go Elcor.
Yeah,
Elcor.
Elcor, brilliant. I love Elcor. There's an Elcor in Mass Effect 1, which I love because you've got a Volus that is talking loads of trash, and the Elcor is basically shutting him down all the time. He's just like, stop being a moron, you know? I love
Yeah.
it.
It's just like there was a there's one bit I remember. There's one bit I remember in Mass Effect 2, and it's like you're walking in one of the corridors, and it's like there's a wall that you could interact with, and it was for an advert for a crime series. And you had
Blasto.
Elcor and
Blasto.
yeah,
And Elcor and a Hannah, and it's like a spoof of Lethal Weapon.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
See,
yeah.
I choose the Elcor, but
This one seems to think that it's all gone wrong. Disagreeing, Toad.
Yeah.
I think you're in the wrong here.
see, I choose the Elcor as well, but only because after I found out what their war asset was, which is them with a fuck off cannon strapped to their back.
Yeah.
They are pretty badass as well.
Yeah, I was like, I want to see like a really good like kind of fan art of that, because if you think about it, those things are pretty big. One of those fuckers decked out in battle armor with a fuck off cannon on its back.
Are you kidding me? They could probably
Fuck.
grab a Brooke by the face and then pull it up and then smash it into the ground.
Yeah.
that would
Why
even
didn't
make
you
a
have
Krogan.
local teammates? That would have made the game a lot easier.
An Elcor battle speech. It has to happen.
Yeah. Inspiring tone. We will fight them on the beaches.
Oh dear, good stuff.
Heroic tone. Cry God for England, Harry, and St. George. That sounds like a standard British speech, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. They need to have it in the spin-off series. Just have
Whispering
it.
hush, you're a wizard, Harry.
Oh,
Shockingly disbelieving. I'm a what?
oh, awesome.
I know what we have to do now. We have to do an Elcor reading of Harry Potter.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
just like Lord of the Rings, aggressively, you shall not pass.
Or epic like Flame of Unun.
Strangely sinister, none but a man can slay the Nazgul.
Oh, dear.
I'm a strong, independent woman voice. I am no man.
Oh, we have to do this.
Yes. Yes. I'm actually smiling so much it's starting to hurt. So. Oh, good stuff.
I think it's just unanimous. Everyone's
No.
Voice
Elcor
and look
reading
of
50
greed.
Shades of Grey.
No, not 50 Shades
Yes.
of Grey. No.
Yes, oh, that would be fucking epic. Do you hear they're making a movie of that now?
Oh, don't start.
Actually,
Start.
yeah.
God, like that's going to be a porno. That is.
Yeah. I feel like I should stand at the gate at the door of one of these cinemas and be like, "You sinners!" as they walk past. Just
We have to do that. Just like kind of paint really like just like sinners go to hell. For the devil.
Or instead, we will just stay there and just be like, was it in a disagreeable tone? You sinners for watching 50 Shades of Grey.
I was going to say, to be perfectly honest, there was an encore bodyguard.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just like firmly.
Annoyed.
If she was expecting you, you'd be inside.
Yeah, that was epic. I spent so long just standing there listening to that conversation. Just as Elf tell off this one.
God.
What class did everyone play?
Oh yeah. First off, I played Infiltrator.
Soldier first and then Infiltrator.
I play Vanguard now though.
I had to go soldier because I just can't do anything else. I'm not patient enough to be an infiltrator or a sniper. I can never get the hang of using the tech magic-y stuff. Or magic,
Space magic.
because I could never figure out what it was. It's just it's fucking magic. You
I
like
just see Chris just playing this. It's just like witchcraft.
Yeah. Black
Heresy.
magic. Black magic.
well, yeah, it was because I was reading a bit on like how it explained how you could throw fire. I was like, oh, fuck off! It's just witchcraft.
Nah, they've got good reasons
like
how they
space magic.
do
It's just it is space magic. That's what it is, and I could never get the timing or the hang of it right. So I was just like, no, fuck it. I'm just gonna.
Are you a space Aragon?
Yes.
Yeah, I am a space.
Yeah, I played soldier. I played soldier for like my entire playthrough.
Yeah,
When it came to playing in multiplayer, I'm quite good with as like Vanguard or an adept.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm going to play it through, I will play it as an adept, like with all the biotics.
Yeah.
I've actually seen someone play it through as an adept. He's only got the pistol, but his biotic powers reload so quickly. He's literally there throwing, rushing, throwing, rushing, lifting, and then he's literally dancing across the entire battlefield. And then then he's done, and he's just there.
I did a
five
battle
shots.
today as a Vanguard where it's the one in Mass Effect 3 where you have to save Jack's lot at the Grissom Academy, and there's like a big battle, and literally, as you say, if you've got your biotics up enough and you've got like a very low amount of weapons, so your recharge is high, I was literally biotically charging just everywhere, just bang 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 bang, and like not taking any damage, and if I was getting my shield back up in time, so it was interesting. It's cool to play that way, where you're instead of you're aiming and shooting, you're using a melee a hell of a lot more, and you're
literally just thrusting at everyone, basically.
Yeah, I mean, one of the good things about having a Vanguard is you get pull as well. So even if you've got the guys with the shields, you just pull them off them. And it actually works. That's really cool. I like that they did that. So you just use pull.
And it worked out because you had to be close, and then at that point you've got your heavy pistol at the ready. Just like no shield, bam, bam, bam. It's just like, it works so nicely.
It's good stuff. So I know that we're all looking forward to Mass Effect 4. We're going to be interested to see how they do with that. Now, one of the things I said earlier on is that I do believe that the way that I think people in our generation and gamers talk about Mass Effect is the way that 20 years ago people would talk about Star Wars. And I do firmly believe that, because I think Mass Effect's better than Star Wars now, just because of the time gap. You know, if they had made Star Wars now in a game form, as a fresh genre, sure, it would have been.
Oh, so are
really
you
good,
comparing this to like KOTOR
to what?
or to Knights of the Old Republic? Or
No, I'm
something?
just the original movies, because I think if gaming was as good then as it was then, I think that Star Wars as a game would have been much like Mass Effect is now. I really do believe.
Yeah, so the first trilogy, I'm sure, would have been epic. But if we look at the writing, just the writing alone, I'm not talking about anything else of the newest trilogy. There's fucking hell.
Yeah. It's not exactly ideal.
It's film writing 101.
And nothing
it's
more.
it's sort of like just like meet hero, meet bad guy. Bad guy looks like he's getting the win. Rally, good guy wins.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
Yeah.
Why are
Do
you
it all
saying that,
again.
Mega?
save the day.
That's it.
You love me so much. I only love you because you're so beautiful. So beauty has blinded you. Crap dialogue.
Yeah.
I wanted to smack them both with a cricket bat when they said those lines. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, come on.
It's just like you're looking at them and you're just thinking, how can you, as actors, repeat these lines?
Yeah.
Which one was that in?
That was number 3.
3.
I think I only saw that one the once, and I wrote it off forever.
Just expunged it.
It's just because no one could argue with George Lucas anymore. And he was so obsessed with fucking effects.
Yeah.
I want to make a film. Okay, George. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
I
literally
want to sell out
slap
my
his hand away
franchise.
from his writing desk and give him a colouring in book.
It's like I'm kind of glad that like George Lucas really has no say in this new stuff. It's just like so it actually makes me look forward to it.
You know what though? He's laying on a pile of money, so I guess he doesn't give a shit what people say.
And that's it.
Even though he did say before he would never sell Star Wars ever for as long as he lived.
That lasted very long.
And Disney came along and just went, yeah.
Here's a blank
He just
check.
came along and said, "We think we can do better."
That's it. We think we could do better. Here's a blank check.
Yes.
You fucked up Star
It's
Wars.
like this image of someone from Disney literally just going in and just said, "I watched Star Wars as a kid. I've seen your new stuff. No, here's a blank check. Give it to me.
Now, give it to me now.
I will save this."
See, I really hope that Disney just keep it a bit more adult, because I'm really worried that they're going to try and dumb it down to, like, sell it to little kids, really.
Hey, it can't be worse than Jar Jar.
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah, see, I'm worried about more Jar Jars. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
I'm
See,
worried about more dumbed down
see-
characters, a simpler story, everything all goody two shoes, no real peril being involved. It's like
How did you feel about the Avengers, Chris?
the Avengers,
Yeah.
hit and miss. It was good, but there were also bits of it that I thought could be cut out. And Captain America is fucking useless throughout the entire film. If you took Captain America out of that film, it would be no fucking different whatsoever. He's no use in the fight scenes. He does nothing helpful on the helicarrier. He's just there.
I'm more
I like how
excited
this
for
has
Guardians
gone
of the
from Mass
Galaxy.
Effect to films.
Yeah.
I'm like
They've
dying.
actually got a animated movie for Mass Effect, Paragon Lost, I think it's called.
Really?
There's a lot
Yeah,
of
they've got
comics they
books, they've
released
got
for it
comics,
as
they've
well.
got graphic novels, they've got the lot.
I know one of the books that they released for Mass Effect got slated because it was hugely like it contradicted a lot of the lore. And like they had to like take it off the market. Yeah, there was one of their books that they released that was like it got slated by all the fans because there was huge inconsistencies all over the book. So I haven't read any of the books, but I just heard that just as a fleeting thing. I just remembered it there. Let's wrap things up here, guys. Mass Effect.
Quickly,
Go-
just before we wrap it up,
Yep.
who was everyone's perfect squad?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
As a soldier shepherd, having Mordin for his tech and having a biotic. I didn't really care who. So usually, most of the time, it would be Jack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then you've got your tech, you've got Mordin to take care of heavies with armor, then you've got Jack to take care of everything with biotics, and then there's me just like, and I carry all the weapons. Ah, bang!
In terms of lore for me,
going with 2 shotguns and 2 machine guns, just spraying bullets everywhere.
yeah. In terms of lore for me, it would have to be Garrus and Samara.
Oh yeah, but then Garrus. I did have Garrus in. Yeah.
It depends.
Saying
what
that I
was
had
going
Garrus
to get.
everywhere. No, I'll take Jack out and I'll just replace that with Garrus.
Yeah.
When I was fighting the Collectors in Mass Effect 2, it was Grunt and Thane. When I was fighting the Geth, it was Tally and Garrus.
Yeah.
What else was there? And sometimes it was just a mismatch of someone else just like, oh, I haven't played with such and such in a long time, I'm going to take you. But with that, those were the only 2 perfect squads I ever had,
I
depending
did
who
that
I
a few times. It was literally just like, meh, you haven't seen combat in a while. Let's take you with me. Oh my god, is that what you're still armed with?
Yeah. You still only have level 1 overload, oh dear. Let's level you up. So what about you, Chris? What's your dream team?
Well, in Mass Effect 1, it was Rex and Liara, who, and me as a soldier, and we were just kind of unstoppable, just rolling through everything. And then in the second game, it was Grunt and Jack with me as a soldier. And then in the third game, it was Grunt and Liara. So, yeah, just like always have a Krogan, always have a biotic. It's always easy.
Yeah. Bada boom. It's
Yeah,
done.
just give your
Yeah,
Krogan a really bad
I do have to mention, there's one beautiful moment in Citadel DLC when you see everyone in your squad lined up in one row, just shooting down. Everyone's firing. It is a beautiful moment. Then there's that moment of just that moment when nothing happens. Then someone just makes a little quip, like Tally would say, "I don't think we shot enough" or something.
Yeah.
I've still got some bullets. What should I do? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So dream teams, they're all
Yeah.
down there.
See,
for
I
you.
found like kind of the perfect combination with those two, because you just got the biotic to lift people out of cover, and then the Krogan to blow them away with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
think
a-
that's kind of why I quite enjoy
lift,
taking.
bang, lift, bang, lift, bang. All right, let's
Especially
move on.
like with Garrus, sort of just like, he's now revealed.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Is there anything else anyone wants to say before we wrap up? We tell our guys all the cheesy YouTube nonsense and we get out of here. What is there anything else?
I can't decide whether tomorrow I'm going to carry on playing Skyrim or whether I'm going to pick Mass Effect up again.
Yeah.
I'm actually giving serious thought to playing Mass Effect after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might do Mass Effect just to see the alternate endings, because if it's a free DLC, I might as well get it, download it. So.
Yeah, go for it. It's
Get
good stuff.
Citadel, for the love of Christ.
So we'll wrap up here, guys. If you did enjoy this very special edition of the Kittens Gaming Podcast, then please subscribe. We upload every Tuesday or there and thereabouts. This is a special episode. I think we'll have to do more of these in the future. This is really fun talking about Mass Effect.
Love this.
I know in the future we're going to do one about Guild Wars 2. So that's going to be interesting because I know a lot of the kittens have played that to death, and I am probably the worst offender of that. Of playing that game. Yeah, that's it. So give us any comments if there's any future themes that you'd like us to do. Maybe you want us to do an arcade week, you want us to do a old games week, any particular platform. If you want us to do Steam week, we can do that as well. Stuff like that. And apart from that, guys, help us along. Support the show. Share it all over social media. And like the video if you do enjoy it. And apart from that, we hope you guys did enjoy. And we'll be back again next week for more gaming chat and news. So goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.